Live. All right, let me switch over to that. Link this. Grab the Discord. Let's see. Okey-dokey. No. All right. And let me actually make myself visible on Steam, which I previously was not. Okay. For reasons that I will not go into. All right. Oh God, no. Okay. So I mean, I've been playing a lot of Ags. Yeah. And all my ranked games have been losses as well. There have been some good unranked that I'm proud of. But there was one ranked loss on Axe. There were two ranked losses on Axe. The first one, don't look at it. It was gross. I played terribly. I know I played terribly. Let's like just pretend. It was the first Axe game I had played in like a month. But the second game I was actually really proud of, and I thought I did a good job. But oh Jesus. Yeah, that was the longest game that I have played in. Nope. I'd love to say that it was me and I just slowed the game pace down that much, but I honestly don't know why it went as long as it did. A little bit of hesitation. I think this is my team for the new season of IDL. So, I think we're also kind of getting used to each other's play styles and like, learning how to collaborate and stuff, but yeah, I love Tree. I know. So I spent 3 weeks incredibly sick in December where I played like no Dota. So then I came back and it was like this feeling of like, okay, how do I play this game again? I'm playing Pause 4, Pause 5 with my IDL folks. So you'll see a lot of these like unranked games or Pause 4, Pause 5 because I'm practicing with them. Ranked is just going horrifically. And I know I shouldn't let it get to me mentally, but it is a little bit where like I'm tired of these like, I don't know, like ancient and divine players that I'm playing with in my leagues telling me, "Oh, you're not Herald. Why are you Herald?" I'm like, I don't fucking know. Stop asking me why I'm Herald because I can't fucking get out of this bracket no matter how hard I try. But then like winning all my unranked games and feeling pretty good about how I'm playing in there, then being like, okay, I think I'm ready for ranked, playing ranked and losing literally every single ranked game. And I'm just like, it kills my, like, a little bit of my motivation because I don't like feeling helpless. So I don't like feeling like no matter how hard I try, it doesn't affect the outcome. And ranked is giving me like that feeling. Like there was the one ranked game on Axe where yes, I was trash. Don't look at the 32-minute one. Let's pretend it didn't happen. The other ranked one on Axe, I felt really proud of that one. So like the second one, the 51-minute one, I feel like I played well and I tried, but like late game, I just fell off and like I couldn't keep carrying the team. And it just went downhill from there. And like, yeah, I don't know. That was just challenging. Yeah, so I think I want to keep up with 3. So my team is going to flex me in the 3 position, but I just don't have as big of a hero pool yet playing like offlane core. So that's why I'm more the 4 and the 5. I just have a bigger support hero pool. And like, well, yes, there's always more to learn and I can be better and better at every position, of course. I feel a lot more confident with like my support play. Like I feel like good about my positioning. I know where I need to be. I know what I need to do. Whereas I think my biggest knowledge gaps are definitely more with that initiation. And um, honestly, I just feel like 3 has a bigger impact on the game. So when I'm thinking about getting myself out of the dumpster fire of Herald and Guardian ranked play, at least, I feel like that's going to be the way that that I do it is by having more of an impact on the game. So. People can't hear you. I can hear you.
Just caught that.
I've taken over stream.
There we go. I had my proper like professional microphone hooked up previously, and then I unplugged it yesterday to go to band practice and took it with me, and so my OBS still thought it was connected. So my bad. Alright, well, for everyone in stream that was just hearing Jess talk, I was just asking about how she feels about her position in the game, and if she's going to be playing for a team, playing 4-5. Did she want to switch to working on more support stuff than the previous offlane and blinking and initiation stuff that we had been working on before? So you heard the response, not the question. But yeah, okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about then blinking, because you've been playing Axe a bunch, right? Like you really liked him when we tried him out before.
Yes.
Have you tried any of the other heroes that we like briefly mess around with, Doom or Legion Commander or anything, or you kind of just Axe?
I haven't played much Legion at all. I had to play, as you know, I played Doom for the League games last season. My singular win on Doom.
Yeah, that was sick.
I haven't been playing enough Dota since being sick to I think feel like I can branch out. So I was playing my comfort heroes just so I could kind of get back into the field of like, honestly, how do I play this game? And with things like Cavern Crawl and the Ags Labyrinth stuff going on, obviously I've been a little more involved in kind of like the grind for that. Yeah. So I will be honest, I have played less of those other heroes. I did play. So I've played some event stuff, not Ags Labyrinth, but I played some Overthrow, and then I had previously done some, I think it was Cavern Crawl, but it was for a different event. I had done some Centaur War Runner, and I really like him. So he's somebody else that if he kind of fits the skills that I'm learning, I'd love to add him into like the pool, because I actually really like playing as him. I know very little how to play him well. Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, like I think he's featured on my profile page. He's one of my I'd say he's one of my top 3 heroes for sure. So we can absolutely bring that into the mix. He plays very similar to Axe. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun to have there. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. Do you have like did you want to go into any of those replays that we watched there and just kind of like go through them and talk through them, or are you kind of feeling like just with all the event games and stuff that you played that you kind of just don't have any good examples and you want to kind of get into active stuff?
So I think if we were to go through a game, it would be that one Axe loss, because I felt until late mid game to end of game, I felt actually really good. And I'm sure there's stuff I could work on. So it'd be good for you to have that, pointed out to me. And I think if that's the game against a sniper, there were a couple of mistakes in the late game where I definitely lost my blink because I walked into shards or something like that. So I was well aware of those kinds of mistakes, but like, I felt like I really did well in the lane and I had good control of the game and then lost it. Yeah. So if we're going to go through a game, I'd probably want to do this one because I felt like I tried really hard.
Yeah. Sounds good. And then yeah, this might be a really good example to go through. I'll download this replay and we can give it a spin.
Yay! Sweet.
Yeah, cool. And I think like this will be a good game to just kind of talk through in terms of like how to control a game as an offlaner, because ultimately like in the offlane position your relevance is gonna go slightly down as a game goes on, but like not so much that you should feel irrelevant in the late game, right? Like you should still feel like one of the stronger heroes in the game. I think like where's my Twitter at? Yeah. Here, go to screen cap. Yeah. So this picture that I drew, if you got this.
Yes.
Like this stupid thing. Like again, as the 3, you kind of like start relatively high in power, and you find your peak kind of around the mid to late game, and then like this should probably be a little higher at the end there. Like it's kind of 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3 a little bit, but like you get the point. Like you're still up there. You're still one of the stronger heroes, and your big thing is that you can like control carries and stuff. So so I think like just focusing on how to keep up that momentum, keep up those initiations, and continue being a threat to enemy carries. But then the flip side of it also just like itemizing right for it, because what I see right now in your item build is that you built a lot of the like kind of average axe items, like every single one of these items is like an item that an axe will build at some point. But they're kind of peak of the bell curve, right? And what I see in this game is some things that would necessitate some other options, like looking at, Clockwork. If you ever end up in cogs, you're basically fucked. So,
like a force staff.
Yeah, I often see like initiators, like a Tidehunter, Centaur, Axe will go for a force staff in a situation like this, where like you just need to be able to get away from heroes. It also helps a lot in situations where you get just like you miss a blink or something, and then sniper lays a shrapnel on you, and you're just stuck walking away while all of these ranged heroes like wail on you. So that helps a lot. Shadowblade is another item that's gotten really popular on Axe because it helps you find those initiations without being seen. You can kind of Shadowblade around and walk around and scout people out, and then just either walk up on them or blink on them without them having a chance to lay down a cogs or a shrapnel or anything like that. There's other things that I would consider too, like a Lotus Orb. Lion obviously has the instant hex and can finger and stuff, so being able to just kind of deflect that sort of thing, reflect the sniper ulti back at him. Those types of items are like kind of the utility pickups that you'll want to look at to kind of adapt to the game scenario. And when I see your build, it's totally serviceable. Like, you probably could have won this game with the build that you had. So it's not bad by any means, but it's like separating the adequate from the good, right? It's like, okay, you could like give yourself every advantage, right? Give yourself that extra 3, 4, 5% in terms of theoretical, imaginary, like winnableness by just making better item decisions as well. So so yeah, cool. I got the replay. Let's jump in, and we'll see if any of my like guesses from the score screen are
probably right.
Alrighty. Let's go free camera and let's back this up a couple minutes. Alright, so bounty runes doesn't look too eventful. Starting items look really good. I think I'd probably just say don't worry about the fairy fire. I think with the amount of gold that you had there, you could have had like another set of tangos and a salve. With Axe, like just your HP bar is almost like your resource in the lane. Axe's spells barely cost mana, and so really what you do as Axe is you spend health to counter heal some people, right? So more regen the better, but I do like that you have queued up the Vanguard. I think we talked about this before, just like that idea of getting to your ring of health and your first like kind of mitigation item as quickly as possible. So yeah, buying that first is absolutely better. So this is all good. I like the spam on the Lena with the battle hunger, making sure that it's really hard for her to approach. What do you have coming on the courier here? Oh,
I'm sending it to the shop. Because I don't always want to, like, sometimes depending on like the position of the lane, it's fine for me to just duck out for a second, grab it from the secret shop, but sometimes it's
that's
actually like really not good. So
that's the right move for sure.
And especially in the bracket that I play in, it's very rare that I have a 4 that does things like pull or anything other, I don't know, anything really useful. So controlling the position of the wave is just not really always going to be something I'm able to do.
I do like that you stalled the wave up here just ahead of the tower. Like, and yeah, and you're stepping forward now to make sure that it doesn't get back in there. So you're doing a really good job. Like, honestly, the wave is in a fantastic spot right now. Like, this is exactly where you want it. And you can see that, like, the sniper, like, he kind of just fucks off because he's like, well, I can't be up there. So he goes to farm like a small camp, and you know they get a pull off, but they're not going to pull through to the hard camp, right? So this is going to double stack the wave because this is going to come back and it's going to meet this wave. So now you're going to get more creeps under your tower, while your creep gets kind of blinked away by the tower here, and you got your ring of health. So this is honestly all like textbook. You're looking really good as of like 3 minutes here.
Sweet. All right, got the first 3 minutes down. Now it's the rest of the game. Oh, fucking, I hate sniper.
Yeah, I think you were a little overconfident in just like standing in the shrapnel there. I kind of did like the like attitude there because you could tell you were kind of just like, come at me. But you stood kind of like right at the edge of the shrapnel. You could have like walked forward just up into this little gap, and a lot of that damage that you just took would actually just disappear. You know, you would have taken 300 damage less or something and been a lot better off. But nice thing about Ring of Health is that kind of once you get it, you're really hard to push out of lanes. So, so yeah, another single pull. This is like honestly like really good in that the enemy 5 is being really sloppy about their pulls. And, you know, like, this is something that you will see a lot at low MMRs as well, is that if they do pull, they don't pull with a purpose. They don't understand pulling.
Yeah.
There's a really great Jenkins video, I think, somewhere, of him talking about the different types of pulls and when you want to use them. Because, you know, there's a single pull of the small camp. There's a stack and pull of the small camp. There's a single pull through to the hard pull. There is like, you know,
partial pulls. Yeah.
And there's like other ones too where like you can pull the hard camp up and like through this gap in the trees here, or like if the lane's really shoved, you can take this hard camp and pull it to the side over here to these trees. So there's a lot of ways that you can like, you know, manipulate these creep waves and again,
there was a really good Reddit post by some famous Dota player whose name I can't remember, who kind of went into that and like breaking down like the different kinds of pulls, and maybe it was like notes from the Jenkins video, I don't know, but it was really helpful for me because I had kind of picked up on some of the things about like when to pull based on the number of creeps and where the wave was based on intuition, but not really realizing like that you know, all of the different possibilities available. And one of the things that's very frustrating playing 3 is when, you know, you do either get no pulls, so you have like less control over the position of the wave, or you have a 4 that just wants to pull no matter what. Even if it's not good, they pull like, and you end up with like the stacked waves, or you end up with stuff where it's just like it's not actually helping you at all. So that can be, from a 3 perspective at least, that can be really frustrating because I feel like I have less agency in controlling or denying farm to the enemy, apart from obviously like the normal denies.
Well, from a 3 perspective, like honestly, there's not a lot of scenarios in which like the 4 pull is bad. Like, if you can pull this hard camp over and snag your wave, it's almost always beneficial. There's very few scenarios where I'd like be yelling at my forward and be like, whoa, 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 no, like I need the wave here. Like, you do almost always want your wave off to the side and their wave pulling back to your tower.
Okay.
And
Because even when you're being like aggressive, because I guess one of the things that I like on some of these heroes like Axe is this feeling of like hammering the enemy at their tower and it's just like relentless. And so it's kind of like I almost don't like the pulls because I want the wave to be pushing in towards them because then they're kind of like stuck there and that's when I have the freedom to go and cut the wave and start to really kind of like mess with them a little bit more. But is that a timing thing that like for the first until I get, I don't know, Vanguard or something, I really want the wave near my tower? Or is it, I don't know, what does that depend on?
I would say, like, it is a bit of a feel thing. Like, again, with Axe, you're spending health to get kind of positioning and damage and stuff. So, when you have the health to spend, that's good. Like, I have had games, whereas Axe, like, around this time at 3 or 4 minutes, I will just kind of, like, if we have a wave kind of coming up to the tower, I'll just kind of skip under it and catch the next wave just because I know that I'm strong and they have a weak 5 that can't really click me and stuff. But it's highly contextual on what you can take, right? In this scenario, if you started walking under the tower and, Lena landed a good stun and then the last creep that was tanking the tower for you dies and then Sniper lands a shrapnel on you and you're limping out through the trees, you could end up in a real ugly situation. So like in this scenario, I would say you probably want the wave back. You want to pull these ranged heroes away from their tower because right now they're last hitting next to the tower. And by pulling this wave of 5 creeps from the Lena single pull, is going to come all the way back, and then the sniper is going to have to stand right around here, which then causes him to have to run back to his tower if you land like a battle hunger on him and you start chasing, right?
Okay.
So that's really like the objective there, and there does come a point where you do want to be like under the tower and contesting it and stuff, but generally like the trade-off you're making there is really that like honestly, if you are under the tower and or like past the tower and you're cutting the wave and your 4 is pulling over the hard camp, they get no great, like the sniper has nothing to do, right? He can come plink you and you just kind of walk away from him, or he can go contest the pull and Willow can throw spells on him and harass him. So honestly, that's a win-win at that point. So like 4 pulls I think are like relatively harmless in basically all scenarios. Or they're basically beneficial in almost every scenario. 5 is where like pulling is really an art, because the 5 wants to make sure that their carry is always in this position under the tower, and you can see that this Lena, as a bad player, has twice in a row now done a single pull that's resulted in her wave stacking and doubling up, and now it's going to push. So in about 2 minutes, or like not even 2 minutes, about 20 seconds, when we play this clip, this wave is going to push all the way back to your tier 1. You're going to be tanking it here happily. You're going to meet it with this next wave that's just spawned. And Sniper is going to have to walk all the way up here. And I don't know what happens, but to me, looking at this game, I would say Willow runs over, throws down a Bramble Maze, you throw on a Battle Hunger, chases Sniper to the ends of the earth, and he either dies or escapes by the skin of his teeth. So that's really like, how it should go. And so this Lena is actually like causing a really big problem in this lane. She's playing really poorly. If she was my student, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, and again, I think
I know.
Well, what happened there? I think that was a little bit of that attitude I was just talking about. That like, I like it. It's saucy that come at me type thing, But because you did that, you weakened up the wave a lot, and you took a lot of damage because you were standing in a shrapnel. And now you've kind of got this, wave where 2 of the creeps are dead, and you're gonna kill the last one here, and your wave's probably gonna kill this range creep. So now it's kind of a 4-on-4 in a safer situation, whereas had this 10 seconds back, you just kind of, taken these creeps and walked away at this point. By getting caught here, you basically end up letting them equalize the wave, right? You kind of fixed this Lena's mistake for her because you had creeps coming your way, and you nuked them basically. So this pushes back in the direction. So,
I guess the way that so one, I am trying the like, you know, be too aggressive and you'll tell me when I'm you know, I need to back off, which is good.
Yeah.
But there, I guess what I had thought was like the Lena was like creeping kind of close to me, and I felt like I wanted to punish her for kind of, I don't know, in what I thought was bad positioning. And I mean, some of this is me just being bad and continually getting caught in her stun. But I wanted to also, because I saw that wave heading towards me, I thought that's going to proc a lot of the spins.
Yeah.
So if I can get near her, get a battle hunger on her, I can like get a lot of her health down.
Yeah.
But I kind of see what you're saying there. Like I had completely thought of it in the wrong like context.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, even just looking at that from an engagement perspective, like, you're absolutely right. Like, if you can, like, walk on top of a support with a, with 5 creeps next to you, that's almost always a good thing. But, in this scenario, because this lane is so pushed, if we're looking... Oh, I wish they would fix this bug. They, like, introduced some bug where you can't see, like,
tower range.
Pole range or anything.
It's really messing with me, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like highlight the tower range here because Lena's one step away from the tower is the problem, right? So she's full health. If she was at half health, I would even say like you go for that. But from full health, the chance that you get enough spins to take her from full to nothing before she takes one step back into the tower and you're slowed by the sniper, pretty minimal, right? And you can even see that, like, you do get great spins, but as you step forward right there to chase her down, you realize, oh, I can't go into the tower, right?
Yeah.
So just by nature of how safe their position in the lane is right now, you can't pursue that kill. If this exact engagement happens down here, you run that down to the ends of the earth. You fucking, like, you chase Lena until she gets a restraining order. Like, you know, like it's, you don't stop, right? But in this scenario, you realize, like, I can't go into the tower there. That's dangerous. I'm going to get shrapnel and killed. So you got to walk away, and you just take plink damage all the way back.
Okay.
You know, and now, as the lane comes back, and it's funny because even with that mistake, what I kind of predicted ends up happening anyways, right? Like, if we watch that through... I kind of got a chuckle as we were talking there, is that like this wave starts coming back a little bit. Sniper, again, is being kind of dumb because he's just aggressively pushing on these creeps. He's just clicking them. So you can already see that now at this point that I paused at, it's 2 to 4 creeps, right? So so they're already putting pressure and shoving the creep wave back into your tower for you again, which is, again, really great. So so he's just right-clicking away, and you're kind of chilling because you need to regen some health, and now you bring it back, and you've got these 3 creeps kind of back to your tower, right? So you're in that exact position that I said earlier is, like, you know, those 5 creeps that you tanked under the tower there would have just been back in this position. It's the same position that it would have been in. A couple, like, mistakes from both sides ends up with it kind of equalizing in the same spot. Now, and what I said was like, okay, if Sniper's up in this position, Willow walks over, throws brambles, and you chase him down to kill him. And you take a stun here, but you get this brambles off, and honestly, if I were you in this position, even though you're at a 30 your health and they're both at full, I would be running forward at this.
Okay.
This is one of those like marginal axe plays that like you'll get as you like really start to feel that hero out, but they've spent their spells, right? You know that like Light Strike Array and Dragon Slave are both down. And the worst Sniper can do is throw down a shrapnel, and you know that he's already spent 2 shrapnels. So he's got 1 in the tank, and you know you can maneuver around that and walk out of it. Because you have another creep wave coming in here, because he's brambled, and because you have a Battle Hunger available, plus a Fairy Fire, I would be running at the Sniper right now. And you can kind of see, like, he takes some creep damage here, the Willow chips him down. Like, you know, if you had just kind of gone at this and gotten, like, 1 counter helix, I think you get that kill.
Okay.
And it's a super marginal play, which is, you know, I wouldn't expect you to make that in a live scenario, but like just one of those things to be aware of is like be really cognizant of the enemy's spell usage because especially on Axe you can turn, you know, 300 health into a shit ton of damage.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be honest, that is something that I do very poorly in terms of like, I mean, I can keep track of like the big ones like Chrono and Ravage and things like that, but I do not pay as much attention as I should to when those other spells are. Some of that is like hero knowledge. Like I know nothing about Lena apart from like a stun, and I think her ult is like a burst, and
Yeah.
like I don't know much about her spells. So some of that I think will come with as I get better with my familiarity with the different heroes.
And that might be something that we can like do in a demo lobby as like a bit of an exercise for trading. Because I think I've seen this a few times with you where, like, again, you do slip a little bit into that low MMR player mindset of, oh shit, they just spent a bunch of spells on me, now I'm weak, I need to run away, versus, oh, they just spent a bunch of spells, let me fucking run at them because they have nothing left to spend on me, right? And you'll definitely see that be a shift that high MMR players do, right? It's like, okay, they spend their spells, your window of opportunity is the cooldown time until their spells are back up. And so therefore you should be running forward even at half health, despite, you know, their ability to spend. So again, Lena's used both first, you can't really walk forward in the shrapnel here, but yeah, keeping an eye on that, because especially with a hero like Lena, you know, she has one control spell in her stun, and so if she uses that, there's nothing that stops you from just running at her.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And I was trying to, like, there's a few times where I managed to pay good enough attention to dodge,
yeah, like right there,
dodge the stun, but not there.
That was another great example of this, is you're kind of farming, they both walk up, stun, Dragon Slave, he spends a shrapnel, right? Every single spell that these guys have is on cooldown right now. You're at half health, and your Willow is coming in from the side and about to cast Bramble Maze. Like,
I should have walked forward there. Yep.
I would have just fucking gone at him. You know, if you land, if you land a like a call like right in the middle of them, boom, you're looking real good. But because you walk away, you let them kind of, you know, you get chipped out with shrapnel. The sniper plinks you a couple times, and now you've just lost health, right? Not the end of the world, because again, you have a ring of health. You're gonna regen. You're gonna be fine. But it also means that, like, they're not losing anything on the exchange, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, you're gonna be okay, but it's rough. And I honestly, I will say that, like, you know, as much as I'm talking about things we can optimize here, you're doing really well for a lane that is, by all, like, on paper standards, absolutely shit for Axe. You're playing against two highly ranged heroes, both of which have stuns and control spells. It is nigh impossible to expect you to, like, be getting regular calls on, or like regular counter helixes on the sniper or this Lena, right? Just by the nature of their heroes, they're fast, they're ranged, and they can slow you down and control you, right? And especially since you went straight Vanguard without boots, it's honestly, like, really tough to imagine a scenario where you ever, like, pose a kill threat without your Willow setting something up for you. So
should I have gone boots first, or
I would have gone Ring of Health into boots and then finished the Vanguard, but
okay.
Yeah, like I think the full Vanguard, like the Ring of Health will give you a lot of survivability until you get your boots. But honestly, it really doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna get one after the other pretty quickly. Like, you know, you got your Vanguard a minute ago and now you got your boots flying out. So really, like, the difference isn't huge. But I like going boots, and in this scenario, I might have even gone like full phase boots before the Vanguard, just so that you can like close that gap. Because again, ranged heroes really tough to kind of get on top of them. Phase boots gives you that little bit of a gap closer in the fact that your movement speed will be higher than theirs for a short period.
Okay.
Yeah, we can kind of skim through the rest of the laning phase here. I think we've kind of covered the broad strokes.
I think I tried to catch her here. Oh, what did it? What?
Oh yeah, Willow stopped to hit a ward? Oh no. Alright, you still got her. Good shit. Are you aware of the fact that you can insta-kill couriers with Culling Blade?
No, wait, what?
Yeah.
You can Culling Blade couriers?
Yes.
That's so mean.
It will put it on cooldown, but honestly, it's fun because, like, when you use Culling Blade, you get a kill, you get the movement speed bonus. So in that scenario where we were just kind of like seeing this like courier, like if this was me, I'd run up, Culling Blade this courier, and then just use the movement speed bonus to just fucking run at the sniper. I mean, that's like high level shit. But yeah, you can insta kill couriers with Culling Blade, and it is a blast.
Oh my, that just feels like so mean, but in a wonderful, like my highest relic on bounty hunter is courier kills, because it is just like I feel like such a dick and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So you've given me a new weapon.
Nice. Comes up here, easy kill. You got a catapult, so your yeah, your mid laner comes. All right. Oh, your visit should have stayed here, honestly. Like with the catapult, push that sniper out, get that tower. But yeah, with them leaving, that's totally fine. I like this self stack here. Oh, and you get a chipped vest. Oh, the dream.
I know,
The
right?
dream.
Oh.
Like, 4 HP regen and return on ag. Like it's disgusting. You get a chip vest on like Axe or Centaur, you're just the happiest person in the world.
But like, so one of the things that you told me, right, is like to also look at net worth, and I feel like that is something I felt a little bit happier about in this game as well. Is like, I think did I call here? Yeah, okay, because I had the creep wave, so I thought I know it's a clockwork, but I figured that's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah.
I think yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I get a triple here.
There we go.
Yeah, that felt really
that's,
nice.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I felt like the coolest person. I was like, yeah, look at this.
Yeah, that's honestly like the best feeling as Axe is when you can just chain Culling Blades together and just like keep using the movement speed bonus. Like next one, next one, next one, let's go. So yeah, you're doing really good here. Like this tower is going down. These guys are super sad. They hate being under the tower. Boom, another kill. All right. Oh, you got your full blink already. Eh? Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Chase to the ends of the earth.
I think this time my mana fucks me up, and the stun where like I just can't
Totally.
make anything happen there.
That's why
but
that mana regen talent is really like good on Axe. I almost always take that over Magic Resist.
Oops, I think I take magic resist here because of the Lena and the. I was concerned about the Shadow Friend, but
I would have probably done the same this game, considering Lion, Lena, Shadow Fiend, and I mean Sniper does a lot of magic damage too. So yeah, that is probably the right move, but like yeah, mana does always feel like a problem on Axe. So, but yeah, no, like honestly, this laning phase was like really great. I mean, you came out of it 402, couple little things that we saw that you could have done just a little bit better, but honestly, like. Your blink Vanguard by like what was it, 12 or 13 minutes or something. That's crazy good. You're at the top of the net worth. You like pulled and stacked for yourself. You managed the fact that like you were up against 2 range heroes really, really well. Yeah, like your lane felt really good here. You know, a couple things you could have done to absolutely steamroll the game, but like you know that's absolutely awesome.
So I know that I should at this point, like when we've talked, you've mentioned, you know, staying up there, making space and everything, but I saw the rotation bottom where they killed our pause 1, so I wanted to get something out of that, and I saw that, you know, I had my blink and it was the clockwork, and I felt like, it was the clockwork, and I felt like I could make a lot happen by TPing. So Harold did Yes.
Wait, she had Gust too. She just didn't use it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I see the problem here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Story of my...
How does that happen? Woo-wee. Only uses the Gust after it's too late. Alright. But yeah, no, this TP is totally good. Like I would have done the exact same thing. You know, if they're diving your safe lane, like you've already won their safe lane. So you know your options are either keep pushing towards a tier 2, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, or go save your safe lane, right? Because this is what I've kind of illustrated a few times when I've said like.
With the maps with like the color, right? Like you had said a lot of times in professional games when your offlane is taking their tier 1, their offlane is taking your tier 1, and it's kind of a trade in terms of map. So I figured if I rotated here and I prevented them from damaging this tower or even taking it, then we've got net more green on the map than red.
Yeah, totally. And that's exactly right. Because they've failed to take your tower and to group on it, right? They failed on that part. So if you can like kind of you use the space that you've created up here and spend that time to like basically deflect their attack, and now you control a greater portion of the map for a longer time. So so yeah, you're absolutely like that's the absolute right logic, and it's going to make it very hard for them to play this game now because their carry has to farm in this kind of unsafe territory where they don't have a tower, and their mid and off lane don't really have a game anymore because there's nowhere for them to go. So so super good stuff. You got your blink dagger, farming it up, looking for your blade mail, all awesome stuff. Just accelerate a little bit here. One thing I might have done is just like coming out of that team fight, just gone towards mid, started looking for an engagement there because, like you finished off that engagement here, and as you're doing that, as you're farming this hard camp here, a catapult is going to spawn on this next wave.
Okay. Yep, I didn't pay attention.
So if you had like just kind of had it in your mind, like go win mid and get the Shadow Fiend right now, you could be up this river and like maybe blinking on this guy with your Witch Doctor ulting or something, and you'll have a catapult wave behind it that you could use to kind of pressure this tower. By staying bottom, you're being a little bit passive in this game, and you're not accomplishing a lot, right? The second you get your blink dagger, you're the strongest hero on the map, and you need to be just like looking for kills. And I feel like right here you were kind of just like, well, this lane's open, there's nobody here farming. Like, I'll take these creeps, and why not get a lane of creeps, right? But and you might actually, you're gonna get and you're stirring up a lot of shit, which is another thing we talked about, is like,
I think I get overly confident and I die. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're under the tower, you get shrapnel, you get controlled, that sort of thing, right? And you are kind of making space because your drow is up top, taking all that space that you made in the top lane, and she's farming and stuff. So, like, ultimately, like, I see what your thought process was, and it kind of makes sense. But
mid would have been a better...
But yeah, like, mid's going to be the higher impact lane to take. You can see, like, it almost falls just to the siege creep anyways with your Visage there. If you were there on top of that and you crush this out, you guys would control a huge portion of the map. But by kind of sticking around bottom where you expect them to go, you end up kind of landing in a less comfortable position. So, okay, and you TP bottom again. I think this is another one where, like, as soon as I spawned, I would have TP'd for that mid tower. Mid is, like, objective number 2 after getting that safe lane tower. Mid tier 1 is the most important tower in the game. So making sure that you can at least defend yours, if not, like, pressure theirs, is absolutely ideal. So by coming to bottom, you're kind of... I like the thought process of, I can save my tier 1 and keep a higher percentage of the map. But for that one play, like, you went for that one TP, you got the clockwork, that felt really good. Nice, you delayed them getting your tier 1 tower for as long as you can. It's going to stand till 15 minutes. That's more than enough. Focus on it.
Okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and it is low, so I should have looked to that. I honestly don't remember my thought process here. I think I just thought I can take this. I can make up for the fact that the drow kind of lost this lane. I was thinking of, instead of thinking of like aggressively, like you said, I was thinking of making up for the drow, and I should have focused more on that sort of like proactive mindset of like the positive things I could do. But
and again, like, oh no, oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I got feared.
Yeah, well, and like, in terms of going back to that point really quick, like, making up for the drow, like, you kind of did do that by showing up and getting that kill, but don't think of it as like making up for their lane, right? You don't want to fight into a fed hero, right? Like say this Clockwork got 5 kills on your Drow, and like you beat your lane way better than Clockwork, right? But like say he was like super far ahead, you don't want to fight into that either, right? He's gonna have a level advantage. He's gonna have an item advantage, and it's gonna be scary to fight him. You're not gonna want to, right? So instead of going just head on into their strong hero and trying to butt heads, think about how you can make space, right? How you can capture valuable objectives and open up map space, right? Here, you thought, okay, the bottom lane was the problem because the bottom lane died, and that's where the enemy team is strong, so I'm going to go there and fight, which, logical, but why not go to mid and make those heroes come to you, right? Why not beat them to the punch and tell their strong heroes, hey, come to me or you lose objectives, right? Because by going to bottom, you're not really going to get this tier 1 tower. This is one of the hardest towers to get in the early game, and it's in a fundamentally difficult position. You're really far away from your tower. So you're not going to threaten that objective, and you're kind of just farming creeps down here, right? Which gives them the opportunity to come and kill you. And again, it does draw their attention. It does create a bit of space, but why not push that tempo even harder by being on a more valuable objective in a more dangerous space for them? But yeah, and I think here this engagement that's coming up here, I think this might just be. Well, I think this might just be a matter of just not understanding the limitations of Blink Dagger, right? Because you do get feared, but I think you could have blinked a little earlier, right? Like you walk a little bit further, you blink kind of past him, and that is enough of a difference. Like the few steps that you took that puts you between yeah, okay, so you're right here. So you blink to the other side of these two. If you had just blinked to where this bramble is, your call would have hit, but you would have been able to blink a half second sooner, which lands the call and probably changes the complexion of this entire fight.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
So yeah,
I'm still learning the range of Blink Dagger, honestly.
Just limitation stuff, and again, Blink Dagger has a hidden range and shit, so it's difficult.
Yeah. I've been trying to practice it, but I've also been running into a little bit of the issue of sometimes it shows me the range, sometimes it doesn't. So I need to practice those. Sometimes when what was it? I was practicing the other day. I didn't have a good reason for blinking, but I was just trying to practice the range. When I was escaping or something, I was trying to pay really close attention to it. But
we've talked about quick cast last time, right? Have you been trying to play with that?
So yes, but I spent all this time setting it up, and I was I'm gonna practice this and it's gonna be awesome. And then I had been practicing it, and then it because I was trying to set it up as certain settings for certain heroes, it borked my hero settings so bad that I kept starting in games where it was not having any of my what normally would say QW, all my skills didn't have hotkeys, and so I just ran into a lot of issues because I wasn't using it consistently enough. Right. That I ran into some issues.
Fair enough.
But I do need to get back to that because I was practicing it for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super valuable, and for a lot of Dota players, I would just say it's a preference, but specifically for Blink initiators, it's so much. It's the difference between those little half milliseconds, right? Taking the time to click your left mouse button can often be the difference between a play like that where that Shadow Fiend gets the fear versus you getting the call, right?
Okay.
It's those just little micro adjustments, and again, not it's.
No, yeah, you could see it in that fight so well. I do think so after that fight, and I'm watching my own replays. Obviously, it's been a little bit, so I don't remember my exact thought process, but I have no idea why the fuck I keep going to safe lane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I keep TPing down here. And I'm like, even asking myself that as I rewatch it, I have no idea what my thought process was there. So
Yeah.
I wish I could
Yeah,
enlighten you, but I sometimes when I respawn, one, I'm like trying to spend the seconds where I'm dead thinking about where I'm going to go. And if I panic and I have no idea where to go, I just kind of default to where I was before.
yeah.
So there's a little bit of that too.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I could see as well, like, you know, I've done this before, and I know other people have as well that have coached. But like, you know, you look at the map and you go, okay, well, tier one mid is gone, or tier one top is gone, tier one mid is gone. So where's the last place to open up? Okay, it's this tier one tower, right? Like their last tier one, let's go get it, right? And this is a bit of a flawed logic because like ultimately, like this offlane, these towers are like the least valuable towers in the game to you.
Okay.
Because like just in terms of what they give you strategically, if you killed this tower and this tower in the exact same push, and your creep wave was always like meeting, like just say like let's say like right around here, like right around where this tier 2 is, you don't really gain much ground. Like think about that like MS Paint drawing of the Dota map with the colors green and red. Like when that green color sneaks up this lane, look at what it kind of cuts off of the map, right? Like,
Doesn't it deny like it denies really valuable, I guess so this might be my own ignorance, but I thought that the triangle is like a really valuable place because of the ancients and the secret shops. So I thought that by claiming that side of it and being able to rotate into their triangle and take over it, you're one able to hopefully murder couriers that come to the secret shop. You're denying them anything that they can really buy there. And you're also denying them their bounty rune and the ancients.
so yes, but that's not the reason that that's not the primary reason that the triangle is valuable.
Oh, okay.
If you look around, like there's more gold in the top side jungle than there is in the bottom. I mean, there's a small camp, there's a hard camp, and there's an ancient camp. And just considering how fast a carry can farm and whatnot, these camps don't like you're gonna farm these in the span of 20 to 25 seconds, and then you're gonna have dead time, right, where you're not really doing anything. The jungle, you can kind of consistently farm it in a big circle and a pattern, right? So a carry wants to be in their own jungle if they can. The reason that the triangle is valuable is because it's so highly defensible. You have this ward stone that sees basically everything. It sees the two major entrances to the triangle, and the third is up 2 high grounds, basically. 2 layers of high ground. So if you're farming in this area, support can kind of sit on this high ground and scout basically everything for you. You can see everything coming your way. You can see the river, you can see the advancement through mid, you can see this kind of advancement through the side shop. It's just super, super safe. You know, plus there's like a lot of like trees and stuff to escape and whatnot. Taking the triangle as an aggressive team is really powerful because it allows you to set up this aggressive ward, which kind of sees 2 lanes at once almost, right? It sees the 2 entrances that the enemy team could take to that position, and again, they're both up high grounds, right? If you're an aggressive team and you're occupying this space, if the enemy team comes anywhere near this cliff or this cliff, they're just instantly fucking dead. So by getting this tier 2 tower, yes, it kind of gives you that into that space, but the amount of resources you're going to invest in getting that is going to open up this side where the carry actually wants to be, right? Because you keep going bottom, this sniper is farming in the place that he wants to be, right? He's farming his safe lane, and then he's going to jump into the jungle and farm this and this and this and this without any contest, right? So this is actually allowing him to kind of catch up. The reason people go to the triangle is because it's safe, right? Usually in a game, they're getting pressured in their jungle is unsafe, you're walking up in here, taking all these camps and threatening to blink on him, and he's fucking terrified and, like, you know, has nowhere to go, so he goes to the triangle because it's defensible and he knows that he can't get ganked there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so when people talk about the triangle being, like, a good place to farm, it's a good place to farm because you won't die there, not because it's more gold efficient or because it's a you know, better space. So
if you have to force the enemy carry into one, it's far better to force them just into the triangle than it is to take the triangle, and then they're still just farming.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You
Okay.
kind of want the enemy carry hunkered down in their triangle, right? Because if you can force them to live in this quarter of their map while you own their whole jungle and your carry gets both sides of their own jungle, that's the ideal, right? If Drow can take a farming pattern that goes like from this hard camp to this medium camp to this medium camp to this medium camp, all the way across the river to the small camp to the ancients to this, and then follow your guys' pressure up into their jungle, that's perfect. Like, that is, you know, and especially if you have, like, a fast farmer, like an anti-mage or something who's going to be blinking and whatnot, that's, like, the dream for them, is if they can have 3/4 of the map, basically, right? So, forcing the sniper into the triangle is ideal for you. That's where you want him to be. You want him to kind of hunker down in there, and you want to make them feel like they have to defend their hill, right? This is their last bastion. And so, like I said, going back to the original point of, like, these bottom towers being very, like, you know, very invaluable, or, like, not invaluable, like, not valuable.
Yes.
It's, you know, once you cut off this tower, like, again, imagine just drawing kind of a line from the edge of the map over to, like, kind of your established space, which is, like, maybe over here or something. There's nothing here, right? There's, like, this hard camp maybe that makes it a little safer for you guys to farm that. Then you go up to the tier 2, and you kind of draw that same line across the tier 2 down, and, like, you kind of cut off, like, the secret shop and, like, the entrances to the ancients and stuff here. But, you know, it's just, it gives you more avenues into that, like, high ground safe space. But, again, you're not really capturing stuff. Whereas on the other side of the map, you cut off this tier 1. This creep wave is meeting, like, right up here now. You basically cut off, like, a medium camp, a small camp, and a hard camp. Gives you basically, like, an extra entrance to the enemy jungle because you now have this space. If you manage to get the tier 2, you know, you're basically drawing a line from, like, their base straight across their jungle into the space that you control, and all of this jungle space is basically yours, right? You own it. So that's why, that's, like, the weighting of these towers. Like, if I had to give you, like, you know, like, I mean, if we were creating a, speaking your language, if we were creating a neural net to, like, prioritize towers for bots or something, like, the weighting on these towers would be, like, you know, like, the highest priority is safe lane tier 1, then it's mid tier 1, then it's safe lane tier 2, then it's mid tier 2, then it's off lane tier 1. And oftentimes you'll see, like, in late games, like, if you just, like, honestly, if we just go to the watch tab right now, and go to live games, because I think they have the tower tracker on stuff here. Yeah, okay, so, like, you'll often see, yeah, like, okay, so this is a good example. The Radiant team here has lost their, Aoi 2000 has invited me to a party. Shit, sorry, buddy. Yeah, so, like, there's offlane, mid, safe lane gone for the Radiant team, and they've taken the enemy safe lane and mid, right? They've left this time. We'll go to the next game. Okay, this game hasn't started yet. 10 minutes in. Okay, so Radiant safe lane is gone, and you can see heroes are kind of moving up to the dire safe lane to take this tower. Same type of thing there. This game, okay, all 3 of their tier 1s are gone. This game's not too far along.
I've definitely seen what you've talked about, where, like, I've seen, you know, one whole lane gone, and then they still haven't taken the enemy safe lane tier 1. So I've definitely seen what you're talking about. And now that I'm thinking about it, I was approaching it, instead of thinking geographically, even though I thought I was thinking geographically, I wasn't. I was thinking just almost like in terms of a checklist of, like, tier 1. Okay, I've got this one, time to get this one. And it was, like, stuck in my head that I really needed it to, get that next. But it makes a lot more sense. I should have rotated top again and tried to push into their jungle.
Yeah. And like, even just going mid behind this Visage and stuff too, like, he's drawing a lot of attention right now, and I think he ends up getting caught. But just being behind them, like, again, you are like you are or were the strongest hero in the game for a period there. Just go where the high value targets are, the Shadow Fiend and the Sniper, and just chase them. You want to make their lives hell, and right now Sniper's having a grand old time because you're kind of on the opposite side of the map from him.
Okay.
So this is kind of where I might say that, like, I don't know exactly how long this game went, but we were talking about how you kind of felt like this game slipped away from me in the late game, and I think this is part of the problem here, is that you're letting the enemy carry farm. You're getting decent fights, and you are strong here, but, while you're skirmishing this whole time, Drow's here fighting with you, Sniper's just farming. Right? And we've talked about that before, making sure that you're bringing the action to the enemy carry so that your carry can farm. And by being on the bottom side of the map, Drow is showing up to this because there's an engagement close by. She feels like she needs to participate, knows that if she doesn't, her teammates are going to ping her and be like, Drow, what the fuck, you're just farming, So she comes over here, whereas if she's on the other side of the map, she can be like, oh, sorry, no TP, LOL, like, wait, there's no tier 1, I can't TP there, you're fighting with the enemy secret trap, like, what do you want from me, So, in terms of just kind of like, Dota players, like, hating each other in game, that's kind of the logic right there. And now finally you kind of are back on the top side, which is good, but kind of in an unfortunate situation where, you're scouted out by a couple wards, they catch you out there, they're kind of moving as 5. The other half of that being, like, the reason that you're getting caught out here is because you haven't been pressuring this side of the map. Lion has like taken it back, right? So he's put a ward up on both of their high grounds so they can see all of the jungle entrances, and he's even put one deep so that they can see into the jungle here. So their jungle is incredibly safe right now, and by letting off the gas pedal, you've made it a lot harder for you now to, like, progress back into that space later. If at this point in the game you realized, oh shit, I should be top, I should be chasing Sniper, it might be too late, because now there's all this stuff in your way of creating pressure. And now they're coming in here to kind of clean out this tower. They've got 5 heroes. They're kind of inviting you to come fight them because they know they're stronger. They've got a bit of a network advantage at this point. Okay, they back off before we're on tier 2 here. Sniper's kind of just hanging out there. Alright, yeah, so they go straight over to mid. Okay, I was just about to say, like, at this point I would very strongly consider just buying yourself a smoke. You got one in your inventory, awesome. Because this is definitely one of those moments where, like, the momentum has swung a bit, and you want to be able to, like, take that back. Like, if we look at the graphs right now, you can see that, like, you were, ahead, and then between those couple engagements bottom and, like, giving up top, it dropped off, right? So you started in a super strong position, you came out of your lane good, but by, like, letting off the gas on Sniper, by going to the safe lane too many times, you've kind of let them take control back on this game. A smoke is a good way to turn that, because you can say, okay, we need to swing this momentum, we need to find a pickoff. Let's go do it. I don't know if you were, like,
and then everybody scatters.
Yeah, like, every time I smoke, I just draw on the map and draw this, like, line of just, like, where I want to go, and then I just start running and, like, hope people follow. This is gonna be an okay pickoff. Yeah, I think so. This is another thing, is, like, just in general, going on the enemy is, like, kind of initiator, like, not super key. Like, honestly, right here, when you saw the Shadow Fiend, I would have blinked for this. Like,
even without the rest of my team behind me.
Well, the rest of your team's, like, right here. Like, so, like, first of all, I would have.
They were, because there was a disagreement about where we should go.
Yeah,
I wanted to blink up on them, and then the rest of the team wanted to go to the triangle.
Yeah, well, and I think. Either way, like, I think you know where the enemy team is, right? Like, you know that there's, like, 3 or 4 up this hill. So I would, like, if I was you, I'd be just looking for 1 or 2 of these heroes, primarily the Shadow Fiend, right?
Yeah.
Like, Sniper is their carry, yes, but Shadow Fiend is off to a crazy start. He's got a BKB. He's like, he has higher net worth than the Sniper. He's a bigger target at this point, right? So, like, right here, I would have just walked up to the edge of this river and just blinked on the Shadow Fiend. And your friends are right there. Like, Witch Doctor lays down an ultimate. Like, you're going to get stunned out by the Lion, but by that point, there should be a Cask, there should be a Bramble, like, Visage should be running in and stuff. You should be able to get the Shadow Fiend basically no problem. And by going around this, like, you still actually had time here. Like, right here, when you turn away, I would have still gone for it, because, again, your team's just right below here. If you just go, they're going to come. And you get a little bit nervous, because you're like, oh, deciding over, like, the direction and stuff, and you finally go catch up with your team. And at this point, I guess you can't see up this hill, but your smoke pops here, and...
Yes.
And the, your team is on the clockwork. I would have just gone for the blind blink on whatever was up this hill, just because, you know, you need to be able to, like, you see their initiator over here, right? So no one's going to come in to save him because no one else has the ability to. He has the ability to save them, but you can, like, you can kind of cut these guys off, right? So you can split the fight up. I would have just blinked straight up this hill and just gone for the Lion or the Shadow Fiend. You might have even died for that, but it would have, like, it would have split the fight up and made it messier for them. By stacking on top of this, like, look at this position. You've got 3 heroes, and Lena's already halfway through the cast on Light Strike Array, and you've got a Shadow Bladed SF coming around, right? Like, by not causing a little bit of chaos in this fight, and going on their tankiest hero, because it takes you guys way longer to kill this guy than it would otherwise, right? Like, you know, he's taking the full brunt of your damage, and he lives long enough for everybody to walk over, and now you've got this DSF there, you're taunting them and shit, right? So, so yeah, I think a little bit of indecisiveness on that smoke cost you, well, yeah.
And then they go back in, and I don't know. I wasn't sure what to do here.
Yeah. Honestly, oh wait, you don't see up this hill, do you? Yeah.
No.
Actually, let's see what you see, because honestly, like, I'm thinking, I was like, I might have blinked on that. A 3-hero call, maybe you die, but I think you killed the 2 supports for it.
Up in smoke.
Okay, so you see the SF and the Lion, maybe. Okay, yeah, that's it.
And he's BKB'd. Yeah,
but call goes through BKB.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, Berserker's Call piercing BKB. It's one of the best BKB piercing disables in the game. So,
where does it say that in the description, just so I can...
Pierce's spell immunity right at the top, where it says...
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, okay.
Yeah, so, you know what, honestly, like, not the worst thing in the world. You lost 2 heroes for the clockwork. The really big problem there is that, like, again, this whole time Sniper's farming, right?
Yeah.
And you can see kind of visually in the net worth here how this game has gone, right? Because you were right at the top. Sniper was like the 4th or 5th hero down.
Radiant's middle tower is...
Oh, what the fuck did I just do?
Nope. There we go.
Right. Yeah, right. Okay. I can't remember. They changed Blade Mail so many times. Quartermistress was calling out that Blade Mail doesn't go through BKB, and I remember I had this whole debate about this shit with somebody at one point, because they made it so that Blade Mail returns the type of damage that was dealt back, and they also made it so that Blade Mail doesn't go through BKB. But I had this weird scenario where I was getting hit by I was playing Outworld Devourer, and I hit somebody with my Q Arcane Orb, whatever the fuck that's called, and they blade mailed, and I had BKB active, and I was taking all the Arcane Orb damage back, and I was like, what the fuck, because it returns the type of damage that is dealt. And so I like looked, and the spell doesn't pierce spell immunity, so I was like, how does it work? Turns out pure damage always pierces pierces BKB, but not all spells that do pure damage
can target somebody.
BKB.
Yeah, because like you can't impetus somebody if they've BKB.
Yeah, but if you do impetus damage to somebody and they blade mail it back, it will pierce your BKB because it is pure damage being returned from the BKB. Yeah, I broke my brain when I discovered that shit. I thought Dota was bugged, like, for sure, and I was so mad. Because I was furious because it cost me a game. I was, like, late game OD, last fight of the game, and I popped BKB thinking it was going to save my life, and, like, you know, I was going to be able to just shred this guy through his blade mail, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, and I hit him, like, 3 times, and then it died. I was like, the fuck? Fucking yeah, it was, Jesus. I kind of honestly miss, like, the old damage types, but anyways, I won't go into that.
That is way before my Dota time, given my Dota time has been, like, a year, so.
Yeah, there used to be, like, 7 different types of damage in Dota. It wasn't just magical, pure, and physical. There was Chaos, Universal, Siege, and I feel like there was one more that I can't recall. But, like, siege damage was, I think, only done by siege creeps, and it was, like, a special type of damage that dealt more building damage, but, like, not as much to anything else. And then, like, universal damage was, like, I think it was, like, measured against your magic immunity, but it pierced, or it was measured against your spell resistance, but it pierced magic immunity. So, like, yeah.
Oh, Dota. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Also, just saying as a beginner player, some of this was, like, really, really overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
It's taken me long enough just to understand magic damage, physical damage, and pure, and pay attention to that shit, let alone, like, all this other stuff.
Yeah, they changed so much shit. Yeah, and I think, I think they reduced siege damage as, like, they removed siege damage as a mechanic because there were some spells that could do siege damage. Like, I think Sniper's Shrapnel and March of the Machines used to do siege damage because they could hit towers. Or maybe they did chaos damage. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, those 2 spells could hit towers before. So imagine Sniper back when, if Shrapnel could hit towers. That was a thing in Dota at one point. Tinker, March of the Machines could hit towers. It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So I think they use siege damage for those calculations, but I think right now it's not a special damage type. It's just that siege creeps have a special property that they do more damage to towers. So, like, they have the same effect on towers now, but it's not a specific, like, mechanic or damage type.
Like, damage type, yeah. I will say this is, like, so I played, like, maybe a handful of Dota games in 2018, and this was, like, right after TI, and I was like, yes, I love this game. Like, I've watched TI and I never knew what Dota was, and now I want to play. And then I found it incredibly overwhelming, and this was before the new player experience and everything, so I was like, I'm in hell, I have no idea what's going on. So I didn't play again for another year, and then I came back and I was like, where's the side shop? Yeah. Like, where are there, like, shrines that I can heal from? And I was like, okay, so I basically have to learn a new game. Thanks, Dota. But
no, it's, yeah, like, the changes over the years have been kind of wild. I honestly, for, like, I was thinking about it for a while about, like, doing a hobby project where I make a Dota custom map that archives all of the different versions so that you can load it up and choose, like, a historical version of Dota, and it will just, like, revert all the heroes to the state that they were in for that. I figured that was way the fuck too much work, but I've always wanted to, like, have that as a thing that is available. I would love to have I would love to have that tool. I'd love to be able to just, like, load up a custom game, select a patch, and just, like, play Dota on that patch.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that would be really, really cool.
Just looking at this fight here.
Oh god, yeah, okay. I forgot that we're watching me be bad, and it's not like we usually have Dota up on our TV like throughout the day, and I just was like, oh yeah, we're watching like a game, and then I'm like, oh fuck, this is me playing. No, okay, yep. So I did buy another smoke. I tried again.
So this is a good smoke. I think honestly, you're in a tough position in this game because, like I said, I think the momentum is like swung, and you're really like it's a struggle at this point because again, and I'll say this like, throughout this whole game, you've had the SF kind of going with his team, playing around this kind of triangle, this mid area, and the entire time this sniper has been farming in his own jungle, right? So just based on like the logic of the few times that you've seen sniper pop out to kill a creep wave up here, I mean this ward that you've probably seen him smoke with, you should know that sniper's farming top, right? And at this point, you've lost like kind of 3 fights in a row. And you're trying to go into the same spot where you've lost those last couple fights, right? So
should have smoked and gone top.
Yeah, theoretically, killing the SF is the higher priority target, right? If you can kill SF, that's great. That's honestly the best thing. But now you're kind of like in the scenario where like, okay, we've tried to kill SF a few times. They're always playing around him. There's always support. They're always behind him. We end up in bad positions, blah, blah, blah. Like, that... You got to be a little adaptable to just kind of like the patterns of the enemy team, right? I think I shared with you that anecdote about like when I was playing against OpenAI, they didn't have the pattern recognition to understand that if I, walked into the trees, I wasn't actually going to TP away because even though that's a smart thing to do, I recognized that they would fucking just give me the benefit of the doubt, right? So like that same thing. Definition of insanity, trying something over and over, expecting a different result. That's kind of what this feels like here. And so you walk up this hill, your smoke pops instantly, and they have a ward on this hill. So you're spotted right now. And, you keep this going, which, like, is kind of fine. But, and the one thing I was going to call out is, do you actually see this Shadow Fiend? I think you do. Yeah, you spot the Shadow Fiend for sure. But your team gets gone on the back lines, and by turning around...
So I have to turn around,
Well, you don't. By turning around, you've given them the fight structure they want, right? You went back into their initiator, right? Their initiator wants to catch as many people as possible and disable them, right? And you throw yourself into his cogs instead of just jumping on this the Shadow Fiend. Like,
I'm scared of him! I can't kill him.
Well, you can. You got a blade mail. All the damage that he does, you can do back.
He has a BKB.
So, whatever. Fuck it. And I mean, you've got your visage there and stuff, right? Like,
yeah, that's me going, oh no, that's the scary guy. I'm running away from you.
Well, and I mean, if you run away from him, the rest of your team is going to have to deal with it, right? So, who of these 5 heroes would you rather be the one that Shadow Fiend is hitting, right? Like,
I know.
Yeah. So. Like,
but he's scary.
Yeah.
No,
and he's scary because
5 levels above me.
So what? By turning around, you give him this opportunity, right? He gets a Shadow Blade, walk on top of 2 heroes, pop his ultimate, and this fight goes to absolute shit. So yeah, he gets 2 there. Like if you just go here, because again, you've got your Drow and your Visage wrapping from behind too, right? Like, and he's completely separated. He's got nobody near him. If you disable him, Visage throws a Orchid on him, Drow starts pumping away damage, you guys are going to kill him. Even with BKB, you've got more than enough damage. By turning around, you kind of, like, think of it like, also, yeah, like, he has BKB, but if you call him before he BKBs, then you're good. Okay, so think about your team as a single. Pretend your entire team is a Mars, and you are Mars's shield.
Okay.
Now, right now, your team is in the middle of this fight and is facing to the right, The big scary hero, the one that you identified is the scariest hero on their team, is on the right side of your team. Now, you walk over here. As soon as you turn around and you come back to this fight, you've turned your back to the Shadow Fiend, right? Your team is now facing left. And the scariest hero on their team is on your back line about to stab you in the back.
Okay.
So
yeah.
think of yourself that way in terms of like an initiator and a tank and just an axe in general. You need to kind of maintain the direction of your team, right? You need to be on the scariest side of things. Because if you stay over here, your heroes are like, say we flip this analogy for their team, right? Their team is facing to the right. Their scariest hero is far to the right there. And you can get in behind him. And their squishy heroes are on the left. So your heroes who are on the left right now, the Willow and the Witch Doctor, can be kind of matched up with their weaker heroes, the Clockwork and the Lion. So just like that metaphor of like, okay, you need to maintain the front line, you need to maintain the like shield for your team. Just keep that in mind, because yeah, like seeing the scary hero and going, I can't do that. That's what's gonna lose you late games on Axe, right? Sometimes you just gotta throw your life away just to secure the kill, right? Like if you trade for an SF right now, that's beneficial for your team. And it's not often that I would say that, but like just given the fact that, like I said, you've lost a couple fights, he is a bunch of levels above you. Like the bounty if you kill this guy is just immense, right? So you need to do whatever you can to kind of secure that. See, look at that. You tanked him and another hero, and oh, that was nice. Lizard's probably gonna die for that, but honestly, that was pretty good. Honestly, I think I would have tried not.
I got fed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just got pissed, and I was like, I'm so tired. I was like, things not going well, that I was like, I really want to go on this, so fuck it.
Yeah.
And I just.
And sometimes you gotta do it. I don't hate that decision all that much, and with the Visage coming in, you get 2 kills here. This is all good stuff. I think if your Visage positioned a little bit better and ran to the side a little earlier, was kind of stutter stepping, he can probably make it out of this. The rest of your team's coming in. The Willow, I don't think she uses her ultimate to get the sniper, which she should.
Yeah, she does. No, yeah, it's on cooldown, isn't it?
No.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's glitching, so it looks like I was looking at somebody else's ult. But.
All right. So. Alright, we got Cloak of Flames. It's all good. Teams moving together, smoking again for the triangle. That's good. I like that. Crossing over to the jungle. Now you don't see that. Boom, you get Lena. Cool. Sniper reveals himself there. Ooh, what happened there?
I walked into the shrapnel. Yeah, that was me just being bad.
I thought you could interrupt that ulti there, but yeah, it came in the exact second. So, unfortunate, but honestly, this fight's looking pretty decent. 3 for 1 so far. Oh, pop. 4 for 4, not bad, honestly. Pretty good stuff, and I think you guys got a significant XP bonus out of that. In terms of the fight recap, yeah, XP change slightly advantageous for you, but you got almost 1,000 gold more because their heroes were worth a lot more. I mentioned it a couple times earlier in the the score screen and stuff, but yeah, your Drow is having a really rough game. She's not wrong, right? She's but
I should have had dust. I know.
You'll never let me hear the end of it.
Why are you fighting that, dude? Alrighty. I don't know how much more of this you need to watch. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of game left, but I think we've kind of identified where this game slipped away a little bit, and now you're kind of just on the back foot trying to find good engagements. Like yeah, it's got your smoke popped by an illusion there. That's unfortunate.
Radiant's bottom tower is under structures are fortified.
So this is another one of those situations where, like, I think I was talking about this earlier when we were chatting on Discord. Was like I mentioned, like, sometimes on Axe you go Shadow Blade just to, like, find those initiations, right? And this might have been a game for that if you were in a different position in terms of, like, just being ahead. But I can see kind of from this fight, like, you know, this is one of the problems with playing against Sniper, right? Is, you know, Shrapnel cancels your blink, you're, like, trying to get...
I walked into it there, yeah.
And then you end up, like, getting flared out by a Clockwork and stuff. So you walk out into the open, Sniper can just Shadow Blade away, and then you get X'd out, then you get controlled, and then everything comes back on you, right? This Clockwork is like, that's juicy as fuck, gets in there, everything closes, right? So one of the like things that you have to do as an initiator, Axe, Centaur, anybody, is just try to get creative about the angle of attack. You know, the place that anybody's going to come from if they defend this tower is going to be this bottom side of these trees, right? People are going to TP into these trees. They're either going to walk in through these trees and try to find an opening. So the other team's aware of that, right? Sniper's going to shrapnel it. Clockwork's going to rocket flare it nonstop. They're going to be looking at the approach coming from this side of the map, right? So what can you do as an Axe who needs to make a fight happen? If you have smokes, you can smoke yourself. That allows you to kind of just walk straight up the lane. And I mean, there is a shrapnel here, but you can, like, walk up to here where these creeps are, and then go up into these trees and stuff, and you won't get spotted. You could also just walk up this hill, and I know that's scary because, oh, what if there's a Clockwork just sitting right here? But, I mean, you know, you've got, like, you know where the high damage heroes are. The Sniper is showing himself, the SF is showing himself and doesn't have a blink. So you could do that and just say, okay, if I walk into cogs, then my team will just kind of get me out of there. They have Glimmer Capes, they can help me click out the cogs, like, whatever. Or you can kind of just, like, honestly, sometimes this is why it's worth, like, hanging onto a Quelling Blade, is just, like, cutting trees to, like, find your own path through here. But either way, you take the most obvious route towards this fight, right? And by doing that, even though your team's structure is good, this is kind of where you'd want every hero to be. Like, Drow's in the back, she's Shadow Bladed, Witch Doctor and Willow are kind of concealed by the trees. This is a good fight structure, but by the time you show and you reveal your intentions, the other team has kind of spread, right? You've lost the opportunity to surprise and to attack, and now you're Hex and you're sitting there, right? And so everything just comes apart at this point because they have their perfect fight structure now. Clockwork has half of your team controlled. They have basically a perfect arch around the Clockwork cogs. Everybody just, like, wailing spells in. Surprisingly, they don't have a sentry down, but they should. And they're able to just kind of blow you up. Drow shows herself for some reason thinking that she can fight these heroes, and they instantly turn and just, like, pop.
Yeah.
And then everything else comes back, right? So it's, you know, like, you have the right idea. It's just getting that creative headspace of, like, how do I find this initiation? How do I find this angle? How do I find this opportunity? What is the, you know, what can I do to make this happen, right? And if, you know, if we were to, like, go through a bunch of my games playing Earthshaker or something like that, you'll see me just, like, doing these little micro positionings, like, back and forth, trying to find just that angle, that moment that people step out of things, and it really is kind of like just an art and something that you get an eye for in terms of just, like, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna be patient. Okay, they found my spot in the trees, like, fuck, I need to move around, I need to, like, get to the other side of this fight. I need to smoke myself. I need a fucking Shadow Blade. I need somebody to Glimmer Cape me so that I can walk in. These are the things you got to think about when you're initiating. So, you know, totally good. I think with that game, like, you know, summarizing, you had a really great laning phase. That was like the high point. You played that super well, even though you were against a lane that probably should beat you most of the time. You did a really awesome job of managing that lane. You got your Ring of Health really quickly. You pulled the creeps back really well. And then as soon as you had lane momentum, you dove under the tower, you cut the waves, you got like 3 kills in a row there, and then got a 4th a moment later, got the tier 1 tower, awesome. Threw the game away when you went bottom 4 times in a row. Going bottom once was great.
Yes, you're right, but it's just the way Oh god, yep, that's about it. I mean, I've got a bunch of notes for like things, but that's the biggest one is just stop going to the same lane.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, the one time was great because you just kind of turned around an engagement that was going poorly, but from that, you should have beelined it straight to mid and looked for that mid tier 1. Had you made that rotation and been there with the Visage and the Catapult, while the SF was still kind of like just weak in his early game, gotten a blink on him and taken that tower, I guarantee you guys win that game.
Yeah.
So, like, just that sort of thing, right? So, all good. Totally something adjustable, but yeah, I could tell you were kind of a little directionless. You were like, oh, okay, like, let's just keep going bottom. That's where the action is.
That's honestly, like, so much of the game to me. Like, I think where I feel more comfortable, obviously, in support, I still sometimes feel late game, like, a little... There is this, like, late mid-game portion as a support that sometimes I feel a little, like, aimless, but no matter what position I play... Well, I don't play mid, because mid is horrible. But no matter what position I play, I feel really good about laning. And there's always this, like, post-lane... Like, once I've won the lane, I feel, like, a little bit of sort of, like, lost. Like, I'm not always sure where to go or what the priority is. So you kind of ranking the towers and stuff helps because then I'm like, oh, like, okay, I know, roughly speaking, then where I should start at least looking.
Yeah, and you know, think back to like when we were doing our Veno lessons, that whole premise of like, okay, you've got mid, creep into the enemy jungle, get their, or sorry, you've got their safe lane, creep into the enemy jungle, go mid, go back for that tier 2 in the offlane, right? It's kind of the same game plan with Axe. You're just doing it in a different way, right? You're running forward, blinking and finding kills versus slowly advancing with wards and taking over that territory slowly, right? So, you know,
holding the territory feels a lot easier on Veno because, I mean, the wards give you they don't just give you like vision, you know, but they're also giving me like slow and a little bit of like plinking damage and things like that. But with Axe, especially if I have a 4 that's like fucked off somewhere and I have no vision, I feel sometimes like very panicky about trying to go into that space because I don't know who's there, and I don't feel like even if I get a pick off, I can't hold that space, if that makes sense, as well as I feel like I can with Veno.
Yeah, and you know, part of it is that your team should want to be around you as Axe, right? Because again, at the state that you got into when you had your blink at like 13 minutes, blink Vanguard Axe at like 13 minutes, one of the scariest fucking things you can deal with in Dota. Like there's no hero that wants to deal with that. And so at that point in the game, like, you know, you can go solo because you're a crazy hero that can get solo kills if you find the right call. And I would still recommend that you just, even if your team completely fucks off and they decide they're going to go bottom, I would still just go solo and just try to find Sniper, because if you are 1v1 versus Sniper and you get a call on him, he's going to die. But by being there and by like holding that space, your team should naturally gravitate there, right? Even if they're dumb and they don't like have a good game sense of where they should be and that they don't have lessons like this, they should see that, oh hey, my most aggressive hero is in a position in the enemy jungle, that's where kills are going to be, oh hey, I see a sniper there. They should just kind of naturally in their heads be like, that's where I want to be, right? And I think part of that game as well was that because you went bottom a few times, your supports kind of came with you because they knew you were the strongest hero in the game, and that drew the entire game's attention down and away from Sniper. So, like, when we're talking about like where to control space and what to aim for, like Veno does that space controlling a lot better in terms of just like doing it slowly and methodically. But with Axe, you're gonna be in a position where like every hero is terrified that if they turn the corner on any tree, they're gonna get blinked on and like smacked in the face with an axe. Like they should just be fucking terrified of that. And if they see you at all with a ward or a creep or anything, they should be like wide berth. Like, we stay away from that shit. You know, like it's the wide jungle and you see a lion and you're like, fuck that shit. I'm staying in the trees. You know, like that's the position that you're in that game. So abuse that and go take as much of that space as you can. Whether, like, obviously it's better if you're 4-1, but if you're solo, it's almost still as threatening. Obviously there's going to be times where you just kind of have to back away, but you know, you can draw your team and their team there.
Okay, that makes sense. I think some of this is kind of what we talked about, I think, at a previous coaching session, which is like trying to manage the expectations of what my team will do. So I remember you kind of telling me, like, take over this space and your team should follow, but if they don't, then you might have to play around your pause one and things like that. Figuring out when to disregard my team and then when to play around them, even if they're being stupid, that's definitely something I'm still working on. And
Totally.
It's almost like it's both inspiring and depressing when I get to play with like my league group or something where everybody is a lot higher ranked than me, but also that means like they're also really sensible, and so we have this great coordination. And I feel like when I do make plays, I don't even have to ask or communicate. Sometimes it's like so obvious what they should do.
Yeah.
And it's like this amazing feeling, and then I go back to playing solo ranked and I'm like, why do I play this game? I hate myself.
Totally. And that's kind of why I think me and other people have said, like, okay, you're above your MMR, is because you know how to work with, you know, predictable game plans that you know, teammates will do, right? Like you've got a good basis for competitive play. And I think what we got to work on if we want to see your like solo MMR increase is like your reactivity, your you know, your ability to react to varying situations in a game, right? And honestly, it's something that I'm like struggling to teach a little bit is figuring out the frameworks that work for chaotic pub games, because we've had these conversations where we've had like this tree of decisions of like, okay, you want to go here, but if they don't, then you do this, and then if that doesn't happen, then you go here, and then blah blah blah. And like we have this fucking like weird like concepts of like, you know, okay, these are all the ways your team can fail you, and then this is how you react to that, right? But fundamentally, I think it just comes down to a couple things in terms of like, sometimes you do just have to go a little fucking crazy, you know, the famous no-tail quote. You know, if the game's going off the rails, you got to go with it, right? Sometimes you just have to just like rely on some mechanical skill and just style.
You assume I have mechanical skill.
And honestly, like that's the thing, and that's kind of one of my gripes with like ranked matchmaking, and the reason that like a lot of, you know, the top leaderboard players are just like mid spammers is because, like, you know, fundamentally when you get to like even at the highest level, pubs are just sometimes fucking uncoordinated, and you've just gotta just play a fight better than the other guy to win it, right? And so these guys that have mega quick hands and play flashy heroes like Void Spirit and Ember Spirit and like stuff like that are successful because they can just mechanically overwhelm their opponents, and that results in them getting a lot more MMR. But those players don't always convert to competitive play because they rely on that so much that they lack some of these decision-making frameworks around like what to prioritize, how to play discipline, and how to expect their team to support them, right? One of the things that like you have that you know we've just touched on is that you kind of understand the expected game plan, and so when you're in a structured environment, you thrive. But when you're in a chaotic environment, some of that stuff falls away, and you now have to kind of, you know, it's thinking on the fly, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still think it's absolutely invaluable to have that structured thinking, but you know, let's like we gotta cut a little bit of slack for these scenarios and say like, I get it. You know, sometimes the game just goes apeshit, and you gotta just, you know, try to go crazy. But you know, there's always stuff to pull out of it. Like I said, that game, totally controllable, totally winnable, totally within your control to win. And it was just a couple of decisions on like where you were playing on the map and what you were prioritizing. So, cool. What's this conversation about Venom in chat here?
No, just people arguing.
Jug's fighting against Veno. Much hate. Jug is not a kiteable hero. Good Jug fucks Venos. Yeah, Jug beats Veno. It used to be the other way around, because it used to be that what was the interaction? Right, so Venomous Gale used to pierce spell immunity and apply the slow. So it used to be that as Veno, you could just plink Jug with Poison Sting and Poison Sting and Poison Sting until he got fed up and tried to spin on you, and then you would Venomous Gale him and then just keep, like, and you would just keep kiting backwards and clicking on him. That's no longer the case, hasn't been the case for quite a while, and now you can't use Venomous Gale for spin. So if Jug has Phase Boots and he just spins on you, you're just fucked. So,
I mean, I think it's kind of like kind of what you were saying with that Axe game, right? Is that there are definitely lane matchups that are more or less favorable, but there's also how you play it and how you itemize it and things like that. And that just comes down to the balance of the game that, like, obviously there are counters and everything, but like, it seems, I don't know. It seems like, while yes, I think there are some exceptions, by and large, I've seen people of all skills be able to make really crappy lane matchups work.
Yep.
And so I think that's, I don't know, that's kind of what I like about Dota.
Yeah.
There's always an element of like, I don't know, there's always a little bit of randomness there that you really can often, with very few exceptions, you can make it work.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, like that's one of the benefits of like spamming heroes is you start to understand those lane matchups really well, and like you figure out what works for your hero and what doesn't, and how to like play in a disadvantageous situation. You know, I was watching a Jerax stream the other day, and he just committed to playing 50 games of every hero in the game. So he started with Abaddon and just like played 50 games of it. Then he went to, what's the next one? I don't know, like, yeah, Alchem or Anti-Mage or whatever. And he was making his way through basically every hero in the game, playing 50 games of them, which is why he's a TI
so
champion.
Like all hero challenge but hard mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, you know, that's why the dude won 2 TIs. But fundamentally, like, he was just, you could hear his thought process as he went through the games was like, okay, you know, everyone's picking this hero against me. How do I deal with this? Okay, like this is a really shitty situation. Like, okay, how do I react to this? How do I play differently? And it was really fascinating watching him just kind of like unravel a lot of those matchups and get them in his head, so that if he ever came into that situation in a competitive game, he can say, okay, I've played this. So yeah, I actually, way back in the day, when my one claim to fame was that I casted an amateur league game with Jerax before he was famous. He was like just a streamer who played Earth Spirit at one point, like didn't even have a team, and he got recruited to cast a game with me, so I casted one game with Jirax.
That has to feel cool.
Yeah.
You've got okay, but you also have many claims to fame. So you saying that's your one is kind of funny. Mr. Owie 2000 just invited you to play with him, and you're like, "Oh, this is my one claim to fame." Okay, okay, friend.
Owie's cool guy. He's from Vancouver. Yeah, Jirax
Canadians
used to
unite.
stream. I don't know if he still does, but yeah. Okay, cool. You want to jump into a live game and we can?
Yeah, sure.
start coaching? Cool.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like stuff a little bit more of my dinner in my face, and then yes.
Right on.
Okay.
Hey, I got a package.
A package.
Yeah, I finally, after 2 years of the fucking pandemic, went and ordered a proper like beard mask that will.
Oh gosh, they make such a thing. I mean that
Yeah.
that makes sense that they make such a thing.
Yeah, because like I've had this problem where like I permanently have this kind of like V-shaped crimp in my beard because I like wear masks everywhere, and like I've had people ask me all the time like, oh, do you like tie up your beard because like it looks like I just have like a like permanent little wave in it. But finally got some like actual masks that sit over the beard properly, and yeah, thank God.
Very nice. Oh goodness. Okay, here we go. All right, get out.
Shit. All right. Getting in the Dota mode.
Jesus, what are you doing?
What?
What are you
I'm
doing?
queuing.
How are you? Yeah, how are you hurting yourself?
Oh, I whacked my ankle against the the side of my desk like a loser. But
I gotta get me a new desk. I've got my eye on this fancy like $1,000 sit stand L-shaped desk with like monitor arms on it, and
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But also expensive.
It's crazy as fuck, and I've been like saving for a while, thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get this desk, because my current desk was just a classic, just IKEA flat whatever thing, and I've had so much weight on it for so long that it's starting to kind of bow in the middle, and
Oh no.
so I went and took a stool from my kitchen, or like from my like little like breakfast nook thing, and like stuck it under my desk, and then like pumped the hydraulics up enough so it's like a fifth leg for my desk. So I kind of have like an extra leg in the middle supporting it so that the thing doesn't collapse and dump my PC on the ground. But
All right.
oh, actually, I think I just clicked on Watch Friend Live instead of Coach.
Okay, let's see. Good. Axe is not banned, so I would like to play. All right, we have a mid
Unable
Tinker.
to coach, internal error. All right. Dota.
Oh god. All right. Well, let me see. Where are you? There you are. Can I like invite to coach? I can invite to watch.
It's all good. I'm just watching.
The enemy makes a choice.
Oh hey, Slacks isn't immortal anymore. Thank God. Like when I got to Divine and then he got to Divine, I was like, fuck, I can't be the same rank as Slacks. So then I like made my way up and like got to Immortal, and then he like got to Immortal. I was like, fuck, like I can't be the same rank as Slacks. Like, Jesus Christ.
Alright. I am against, oh god, an OD, Quap, Drow, Witch Doctor. Oh, you've got it up. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate OD. I hate OD so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, this is another really rough draft for Axe. You like
Great.
you'll be able to have an impact late game for sure, but your lane is gonna
Wait. I'm sorry. I have a fucking support lone druid?
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Okay. Yep, that's our pause for lone druid showing for showing up for okay.
Sick.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Dota.
Witch Doctor Drow is going to be particularly rough for you because, again, just kind of the same thing as last game where they have control and slows, and it's going to be really hard for you to kind of get on top of them. But let's just play it the same way as you did in the game that we reviewed there. Get a rush to your Ring of Health as quickly as you can, and then we'll kind of, look at how to control it. One of the things that's rough is that, like, Maledict in particular is a very rough spell for Axe because it just amplifies the damage you take, so you get less spins out of your health bar, basically.
I'm sorry, hold on. Somebody on my team is singing extremely loudly, and I am trying to... It does not look like I can mute people, so this is going to be interesting.
They changed the mute thing. Like, when you click it, there's another thing that pops up that says, like, mute
Oh,
voice.
for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
All right.
people have been bitching about that on Reddit for a little while. It's like, it's real stupid.
Okay. Why does he have a quelling blade?
Why is it not on?
Whatever.
Oh.
Yay, Dota! God. All right, it's fine. I've played with so many
No,
Herald lone druids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this game's gonna be... One of the things that we'll try to focus on this game is just, like, finding ways to get gold outside of the, like, 4 creeps meeting every time, right? Because if you're standing there in the creep wave, Drow's just gonna click you, she's gonna slow you with frost arrows, you're just gonna kind of get bullied a little bit, right? So, so we'll go to the lane. If the lone druid does help you and doesn't just go straight to the jungle, then you might have a better time. But we might have to get you to kind of run off to the small camp and farm that, or pull your own hard camp and stuff. So we'll keep track of it as it goes here.
Come with me, little beans. No, come with me. Oh, and she's got her base, like, damage is... Oh. I am having a little bit of a harder time here. Like...
Yeah, one thing that I find really helps is just, like, keep an eye on the projectiles of the range creeps attacks. Those will...
The projectiles? Okay.
Yeah, like, if you kind of watch when they, like, shoot their little, like, magic missile, whatever, it'll really help you kind of see when your creep is going to lose HP, or, like, when the creep that you want to hit is going to lose HP, and it'll make for easier last hitting.
Okay.
So they pulled the creep wave back to their tower, so now it's going to push a little bit. Deny. So yeah, just pull that all the way back. Don't feel like you have to step up to them. And hopefully you can kind of keep the lane equilibrium down there.
Come here, Bean. Ugh.
Stuff. Yeah, try to proc counter Helix as little as possible. Like, you're doing really good to aggro the creeps there, but, like, if you can do it without taking damage, it'll mean that the lane pulls back, right? Every counter Helix is pushing it forward, so... yeah, and as these creeps die, feel free to just, like, throw a Battle Hunger on the Drow and just, like... Nice. Okay. So your Druid got a pull off. Be ready for them to contest that. The Drow might be coming through those trees right there. Just go catch the next creep wave, though. You're good. Oh, nice.
Oh, I didn't mean to proc that. I was just trying to pull them.
Yeah, that just happens sometimes. You got your courier. Get your courier down to the secret shop so you can get your ring of health.
Yes. It's already there, so I just need to get that delivered.
Oh yeah, I can't see couriers on the minimap as easily as I could in previous. Good. Cool.
Alright, so now I can be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, Drow's just clearing out those creeps, so that wave will come. You guys are gonna, yeah, this creep wave's gonna meet under the tower, so it'll naturally push back your way. So you can kind of just don't go too far up, because if you get cast and maledicted, you're gonna be in trouble. But
Okay, I was trying to pop her. What do you call it? Her clarity.
Yeah. Loafbone, how's the audio now? I just turned my gain up a little bit. Oh yeah, that should be a kill. Oh, okay,
No, because of the stupid cask.
Yeah.
Denied.
All good. Just kind of dragging your range creep there. Honestly, you're looking okay in this lane. Like, you've got your your ring of health. Again, like we talked about in the last game, I would go for your boots before you finish the full vanguard, because again, needing to be you need to be able to run at these heroes, right? And run away from them, right? So movement speed's gonna matter quite a bit here.
Uh-oh. I feel like he's... What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was expecting you to run in, but, I mean, yeah, he was kind of just dead
like
the second
was...
that cask and Maledict hit him. I would just leave and just go hit the hard camp right now. There's not a lot left for you to get here, and Drought's just going to be farming under the tower, and normally you could abuse it a bit if you had your 4 with you, but because you don't, just stack and you can farm that in a second. You really haven't taken all that much damage, so yeah, you're like just spending some of your regen on like farming a hard camp like this, really good. I would even go to the small camp after this too, and just like, you could even, yeah, chase switch there. Drow's coming back your way, so just chill. Yeah, that. Yeah, you don't want to get like cast with these creeps here, so I would just be careful about that Witch Doctor coming. Because if Drow shows up as well, yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah, good retreat, good retreat. Yeah. Yeah, and you're just making it kind of suck for them right now. You can just hit the medium camp and stuff. Like, again, I was talking about finding ways to get gold that aren't in the lane, because you're kind of always under that threat of getting, like, Cask Maledicted and then Frost Arrowed. So you can totally go up to the creep wave now and, like, do a little bit of damage to it, but, like, you know, fundamentally it's very, very dangerous to be near those two heroes at the same time. So if you are kind of just farming jungle camps and getting the creep wave when they push it, I think you're in a decent position that way.
All right. So it should push here, I think. It will only be like one creep, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Maybe not even. Okay.
Oh, Lone Druid went bottom.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. It's fine.
You deserve nothing.
Yeah, I know this is bad.
Yeah,
I don't see what I could have done, because if I kept going on him, it would have been bad.
Yeah,
but
snag that chipped vest if Tinker puts it in the stash. He's kind of just leaving him on the ground right now.
Yes.
Nice. Cool. Yeah,
And the wave's pushed in, so this
yeah.
is good.
Yeah, so you can get this wave, then go to the hard camp and like, yeah, like you are doing okay here. Just yeah, again, don't try to like fight the two of them because you kind of can't. But you can go to the hard camp, and then as soon as this pushes into your tower, you can go back for it and stuff, and just try to dodge them. I would get my phase boots before Vanguard here.
Okay.
Just again, being able to outmaneuver these heroes is so much more valuable than being able to, you know, tank them, because Maledict is just going to make your Vanguard irrelevant.
Not this time.
If there's any in stash, you might want to fly yourself an Obs Ward just so that you can like kind of see the Witch Doctor and maneuver around him. Oh no, yeah, you're okay. So you get a Tango heal up here. And now that they've spent their spells, I would start looking at going back. Maledict's a long cooldown. If you find this Witch Doctor kind of just chilling, like you would, and you run at him, you might be able to get a call and just get a kill.
Okay.
It's like, I think it's like a 20-second cooldown, so like your timing is kind of waning here. It could be back up in the next few seconds, and yeah, like probably about now you want to worry again. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and that is the ult. Yep.
Yep, there we
Okay.
So that is that like little spell game sense that I was talking about in our last game, right? You said like, oh, I can keep track of ultimates, but like knowing, like, you know, I almost counted down a 3-2-1 there, just off of me knowing vaguely how Witch Doctor works, right? So just keep that sort of stuff in mind, because you were fine to get creeps, and then basically as soon as they said, okay, you're in danger again, like boom, they cast their spells off cooldown, and boom.
Yeah.
But you're good. You're having a tough game because your 4 is brain dead. But like, let's just get you gold. Go to the triangle, farm some hard games. Like just let's focus on your economy, because you're not going to shut down the drow. There's nothing you can do at this point that's going to make drows kind of like nothing that you can do to like pull her back. So let's just focus on getting you your phase boots and like getting you towards your blink dagger as quickly as possible, and then like make plays on smokes to catch up.
Okay.
Just run away from that. I think we not sure what she was doing there. She's got no mana. Yeah, you can just farm that.
Oh, I don't know, actually. I'm a little squishy.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Go
seem
go back up to your top tower. The wave's pushed in really aggressively there.
Okay.
And now that your lone druid is back, you might actually be able to do something. I still don't know why this guy has his Orb of Venom on his hero and not his bear, but whatever.
Your middle tower faces a terrible test.
Alright, Quap's coming up from behind. She's got a full volley of spells, so just watch out for that. They're definitely looking to make a play on you guys, so I would just kind of back up from here. Your lone druid's probably already dead. Yeah, don't worry about him.
You hurt the ones you love.
Oh, Dota.
Yeah. Since your mid lane is empty, I would just like swing through the small camp over to mid.
Here comes the Quap.
Yeah, she's gonna just kind of be a pain in the butt. Like, I would just battle hunger and run away. Yeah, that's fine.
Baked around. Oh, the Tinker. Should I help out the Tinker? I feel like...
Yeah, maybe. Okay, Quap just can't see through. Alright, cool.
The enemy attacks your bottom tower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she said actually. Yeah, you can just chase it forever. I think. Go into the tower. Go into the tower. Oh no, too late. That's fine.
Okay. Woo!
Oh.
She's so low.
That's fine. Is he gonna get out?
Nope.
Oh, well. Yeah, I think if you just continued after you got gusted there... Oh, you run. Yeah. You would have been okay. But, yeah, just go farm. Honestly, I'm going to say, like, just, like, skip your Vit Booster and go straight for Blink. This game kind of, at this point, is dependent on you finding anything, right? Like, you need to open something up. You guys are behind by 10 kills. The game is just, like, really... the game feels lost at this point, and you can turn it by getting a big kill. So, really just focus on your economy, like, kill as many creeps as you can, go full greed, try to avoid any engagements, and when you get your blink, we're gonna smoke, we're gonna see if we can find a drow, a quap, something that swings this, and take the game back for you, because, yeah, it's a really rough position you guys are in right now. And just, yeah, like, ignore your team if they're, like, saying, why aren't you helping? Like, just don't care. Like, there's nothing you guys are going to do to stop this quap from just running around and murdering everything because she got a crazy awesome start. Tinker gave her a free tier 1, and that was kind of it, so.
Yep.
Keep an eye on this OD. If he, like, kind of walks up the hill into the jungle here, he is fully alone. The rest of the team is showing, so if you see OD at bottom, you guys might be able to, like, just get a kill just running at him here. Yeah.
Should I go?
Yeah, I would go for that.
Oh, get out of my way! Alright.
You saw 4 heroes on the map. I would go straight up into their triangle. There's a lot of gold to be gotten there. There's probably a bounty rune because nobody's picked it up. So you can get that hard camp, you can get their bounty rune, and maybe their ancients. It's been a bit of time now, but I think you said, oh, 3 bounty runes. Hell yeah, there you go. Nice. Stuff. Keep an eye on this drow. She's kind of heading your direction. Yeah, she's clearing the small camp right now. But I would leave and not go to the ancients from here. Cool. And then go farm like your hard camp, your small camp, your medium camp, and that should be your blink dagger. And then we can start looking to crack this game open a bit.
Okay.
You might actually even just want to, like, TP top from here because there is a lot of creeps there, and this farm could be your specters.
Okay. Tinker's there.
Yeah,
So...
I would just clear this. Get your blink and a smoke, and you really don't have anyone to smoke with, but I would just say smoke with the Enchantress. She can throw an impetus or something.
Okay.
This game really is on you to turn around, like you know, not that it's likely that you will, but that it's, you know, you're the only playmaker in this game. So, you know, let's play independent and just try to find these pickoffs.
Okay.
Move your salve out of your inventory so you have room for the smoke, and then I would just walk on top of this Enchantress, pop it, and go look for anything. They just revealed most of their team bottom, but you might be... You know what? Fuck it. Oh, I mean, yeah, she can... Yeah, whatever.
Let's get rid
Pop
of
the
that.
smoke. Yeah. Just go for the OD
Oh,
or the
shit.
pop. Yeah.
Oh, fucking
get
shit.
her. Chop when she comes up. I'll take it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's the type of stuff we're looking for, right? Yeah. You get your blink, you get a smoke, you get a kill. Boom, boom, boom. And that was a big one too. You got like a big streak off of on that quap. Back up a little bit. You don't want to get caught by, like, again, Witch Doctor spells and then an OD ulti could just kill you right there.
Okay.
I would start just like running for that drow maybe. Going to bottom.
Where is she?
She
Bottom?
showed on the
Okay.
bottom wave. She might have just backed up out of there. So yeah, there she is at the hard camp. You can probably chase her into the triangle a little bit. And likely that she'll be farming her hard camp. There's probably... Nope, okay, supports just showed mid, so I would say just go up that hill blind and throw yourself at her and see what happens. Okay. Whoop. Overblinked
I
it a
missed
little
the-
bit. Just run, just
Yep.
run, just run. Yeah, she's scared of you, so... okay,
Oh.
yeah, you're in trouble.
They're no longer scared of me.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, like, that's gonna happen. That's the price you pay to try to make stuff happen, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
I think you, no, probably not. I was gonna say, I think you might have been able to just, like, TP there, because, yeah, neither of those heroes had stuns. I kind of thought the Lion was a little bit closer than he was, so I can call that, but, yeah, that's fine. Oh, shit. Oh, no.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. I have a tensor bandage on my wrist because I had a bit of a hockey injury the other day, and then it just came undone and snapped, and I have no idea where the thing went. Shit. Okay. Alright, pay attention to the gameplay. My bad.
You're fine.
That's okay, that's okay. You're stirring shit up. You're making it really difficult for them to, like, feel like they own the game right now.
I am trying.
You,
Can I go in on this?
Maybe. Let's see. Go. Just run. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Alright. I'm trying.
I wouldn't
I'm
go back
trying.
in again. Just let your bench die. She fucked up.
Okay. Are we... Do we... Okay, we've got the Tinker coming in.
Yeah. You could look for an initiation if they give you a really sick one, like on top of that creep wave or something, but
Ooh.
I wouldn't just go for side here. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry!
You're all good. We'll see. Maybe it works out. That Odie's taking a beating right now. Yeah. Should have spoken
You
faster.
said it like right as I... Oh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was saying, like, if that, like, OD or something, like, walked right on top of the creep wave, you could probably get a lot of spins off on him, but, yeah, like, going for the side heroes, you're gonna get astraled, you're gonna get, like, you know, if the Lion or, like, isn't into it, you're gonna get, disabled and stuff, so... All good.
This guy has no items on his bear.
Yeah. Yeah, this dude is... I don't know what he's doing, honestly. This is the wackiest lone druid play I've ever seen in my life. But honestly, like, you're... Right now, like, you're kind of throwing your life away to give Spectre any semblance of space. And she is getting it. The entire time you were fighting mid, she was farming top. Now she's gone to bottom where the wave is pushed in and they're on the top side of the map. I would, like, farm a camp to get your Vanguard and a smoke, and then go do it all again, and, like, it's gonna feel like shit, but just keep seeing if you can, like, keep them busy and just trade one for one and stuff here, like, oh, okay. Oh, they're already up in the triangle.
Nope.
That's fine. Yeah, go farm, like, the medium camp or something, or that hard camp. Like I said, just get the Vanguard, get another smoke, and just stir shit up. Unfortunately, like, you just have really, like, do-nothing heroes. And get the Switch Star. Fuck this guy.
Oh my god, I missed. I'm bad at the game.
Yes. No, run. They're right.
Oh my god! I'm trying!
Oh, God.
Save me, somebody!
Oh,
Nope.
yeah, I should have specified run down, because, yeah, they were coming at you from mid, but that's okay, Your Tinker's doing a lot of damage here. Maybe your Spectre can
We
help out.
killed their carry, so there's that.
Yeah, that was 3 for 2. Honestly, it's not bad.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that was a 3 and a 5 for 4, 5, and 1. Like, not a bad exchange. And again, you're making space. The Spectre got to, like, pick up a little bit of farm, and now she's got some space. So, like, game feels shitty, but you are doing the right thing. You know, there's little ways we can play it better, but, like, that's stuff we can go over in the replays. You're doing all right. You're making stuff happen. Is this Lodra gonna kill fucking...
Oh my god, is he gonna seriously? Okay, I was like, what the actual... Okay, so...
No!
This is why. Oh, that was so close.
The OD stepped too close for fucking Desolate to proc. Oh, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna put my camera just on follow you while I re-wrap my wrist here.
Ay. We do something? Maybe? No, our pause 5 Enchantress wants to farm instead. Cool.
Honestly, just go Smoker, go run. Like, actually, well,
Okay,
maybe wait for the Tinker to spawn so that he can, like, box
Ooh.
in. Yeah.
There are 4 of us, or 4 of them in our jungle, which means that somebody is missing. I saw the Drow, I saw the OD, I think the Lion is missing?
Lion would probably be with them if,
I don't really, I don't want to go on this.
Oh, get that clock. Ooh.
Me. Yeah. Ah, shit.
Just
that's
blink
not what
away, just blink away. Everybody there is dead. Might be able to go on Drow on the side. Yeah, it's just bad fight. Just bad fight. Just
No, back away? Okay.
Yeah, your team might flame you for that because they went fully into that, but like they're stupid. They shouldn't have been there.
Buddy. Alright. So what should I be? I've got my Vanguard, I've got my Blink, I've got my boots. Is there anything else I should be?
Blade Mail, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
I would go Blade Mail into a Lotus Orb. Lotus Orb is going to be really powerful this game because they have a lot of targeted spells and they have a lot of purgable stuff between the Drow Silence and the Quap Dagger and that sort of stuff. So.
Okay.
Alright, your team's also really dropping the ball on warding. Are there any wards in the shop or is...
There are, well, the Enchantress just bought 7 now, so... Can I go on the Quap?
Nah, not unless you see other people.
Okay.
Because, I wouldn't even go near this wave right now, because you could just get jumped from the high ground. Oh, okay, they're in Roche Pit. Interesting. Go to Roche, that's happening really slowly. And it's like half HP, you should be able to get there and actually disrupt that. I would just go and like jump straight into the pit and just ult and call. Like, it's kind of a suicide play, but it's kind of a necessary one at this point. Yeah. See if you can steal.
Nope, died too fast.
Yeah.
And no backup.
Yeah, like I said,
so, are you having any network issues? No, okay, stream's back now. Sorry, stream went down for me, and then I was having a lot of trouble hearing you.
Interesting.
But now I do believe it is back up.
Okay. Good to hear. I don't think.
Oh my god, buddy.
Your middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So one of the things about this game that, like, you know, it's not lost because you have a Tinker and a Spectre. They can push up to your tier 3, and then they have to crack your high ground. And if your Tinker, you know, has his Ags, if he gets his Shard, he can hold a high ground forever, and your Spectre can just farm until she's relevant, and you can help out. So, I would... Yeah.
I'm getting out, but...
The game is rough, but there is still a win condition for you guys. Just hang back, and this is where we get to like what we talked about in that last replay in terms of finding the right angle for the approach, right? The other team is going to be pressing into you guys. You need to be able to find a spot that you can jump from unexpectedly to catch their high priority heroes, which right now are OD, Quap, and Drow. Probably with OD and Quap being at the top of that. If you catch anybody but OD, he can always just astral imprison you. So that's something we should keep an eye on. So just if there are smokes, I would just hold one in your backpack for the next time you plan to fight. Use that to approach the fight. But start thinking, like, as you head towards your next fight, about, like, where you're gonna walk in from, what's gonna be unexpected, and what they're not gonna see.
Okay.
Lone Druid just,
Well-
that tier 2 is just gone.
Yeah.
Your bottom tower is under attack. They seek
Oh god, what is this Spectre doing?
bottom tower is fallen.
Okay.
You were too noisy to live.
And...
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, your Lone Druid was dead, and then your Spectre decided to run into 5 heroes, and then Tinker decided to TP on a Spectre illusion into 5 heroes.
Can I go in on this?
Fuck it! Go for it!
Rob.
I mean, it's not a good idea, but it's the only idea you got.
Well, I tried.
I was kind of expecting some buybacks with that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that was all you got. I mean, yeah, like, game's over. Either your team buys back and there's a miraculous something there that happens, or whatever. That was kind of a fucking week, you know.
Yep. Tough with our 0 and 10 Lone Druid. Yep.
Yeah, that
Game
was,
is hard.
that was something special for sure.
I thought they warned you.
0, 11,
Yep.
and 2 with all of his items on his hero. Like, if it was just on the bear, like, like he realizes his hero doesn't root unless he's ulted, right?
Middle tower is under attack.
Yikes.
Middle barracks are under attack.
All right, let's practice the opportunistic blink with these last couple minutes here. They're gonna hit all your racks. That's fine. Just let the racks go down. If they start hitting the tier 4s, just kind of look for a way to find the best call possible. Even if you die at this point, it's the best call possible.
Yep. Ain't gonna happen.
Oh,
I guess we killed the Quap once, so there's that.
yeah.
Does she give Haunt? No, she doesn't. Okay, that sucks. Well, Stayla Snoot. What can you do? Oh, nice ult there, buddy. Okay, we killed the. No, we didn't. Oh, she's getting away.
Oh my god.
Baby, you can use this on her fucking things. Oh my god. Oh, don't worry, I'm back. And I've got nobody with me. Alright.
Oh, that was real. Fuck, I thought that was the illusion.
Nope.
Alright. Oh, something.
Alright, let me get my mana back.
Buy a shadow amulet right now.
Okay.
I mean, like, I would clear the base, and I mean, I don't think you're coming back in this game, but, I mean, you've got one set of racks left that they gotta come for. If you, like, shadow amulet yourself somewhere near the front of the base, maybe you can find, a sick blink or something. No, she's just had multiple illusion runes, okay.
Your top tower is under attack.
Alright, Hail Mary. What's that line?
middle tower is under attack. Is now active.
Nice, not bad.
Axe knows you not, fiend.
Okay.
OD, catch OD.
Can I
yeah,
do
they're totally
that?
scattered. They're totally scattered.
All right.
Yeah, you fucking attacked into your blade mail like big dummy. Comeback time, let's go.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, this farm. Finish up that Shadow Blade.
All right, let's see. Shadow Blade. All right, doink. Almost there.
Yeah, just go cut some waves. I guarantee you neither of their players have detection right now, so if they jump on you, you can probably just Shadow Blade in place, or like Shadow Amulet in place and be fine. Alright, Druid's got Desolator, of course, on his hero.
Oh, why was I silenced so fast? What was that?
It was her shard. Oh, run away, run away, run away!
Oof.
Yeah, the lion hex
The
is always
lion.
gonna be faster, so yeah, you can't stand on top of him like that.
Whew, we got that though. There you go. It's disaster, but we got to kill. Yikes. Oh, no, that's our Spectres 1 and 9. Our Lone Dirt is now 0 and 12.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Good times. Good times.
Your middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
The Spectre's just like ulti for nothing like 5 times.
Oh, don't worry, he's ulting. This is it. This is it. Let's go.
Yes. Get up.
Ah,
Alright,
well.
alright. You got buyback. Let's go. Comeback time. Let's try to avoid getting daggered. Go with your blink. This game has gone along way longer than it should have.
I know, right? I don't understand why you're pinging my Vanguard. That is a good item, and you should just shut up.
Bear has literally nothing. Drew is still holding on to Cloning Blade and Orb of Venom, which only work at half capacity on the hero. Somehow the Inch has a Sprunky Scepter though.
Yeah, it's pause 5 is not really a thing at this bracket.
All right, Jess, you're gonna go look for murder.
Yep. I'm just selling something really quick and selling this. All right.
Yeah, just go to the edge of your base, like Shadow Blade out, and just see if you can. Oh, they're in Roche. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, OD's there though.
Yeah, you might be able to find just like OD solo if you just split pushing it. Yeah, maybe not.
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe get that so that they stop TPing like right to base. I don't know, just a thought. Just a little. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? The comeback. It's time for the comeback. that doesn't exist.
All right, at this point, don't worry about hitting creeps here. Like, just back up. All you're looking for is the surprise call. So I would, like, as they walk up here, like, Shadow Blade, maybe cheat to the front of the base, and if they go top, try to kind of swing around from outside the base and look for the high priority heroes, you know? Like that
Is
Witch
Quap a high priority hero?
Yeah, Quap would be good.
Okay.
If she's alone, again, if the OD ever sees you, he's gonna astral you, and your blink's gonna mean basically nothing. So, just keep the outskirts of the fight. Yeah, there you go. Beauty! Nice! I mean,
Had to do something.
Yeah, I mean, the game was lost, but those were two good ones. That's what I was kind of trying to get out of you at the end of this game here, was like that patience of like wait for the fight to like start, and then you can like turn it in the like opening seconds or two, right?
Mm-hmm. Why are you buying back now? Oh, little beans. This is not.
Oh no.
Yep. This is about what ranked games feel like.
Yeah.
Honestly. And yeah, there were a lot of misplays for me and stuff I could do better, but like sometimes it feels like there is nothing, even if I played amazingly. I'm not sure how to make up for our losing mid horrifically, and then my pause 4, leaving me to lane solo and going 0 and 12.
Yeah.
Like,
That
how do you
was
not only make up, like, maybe you can make up for one bad player, but it's like, how do you make up for multiple bad players and players who are actively feeding?
Yeah. I think like
That's challenging.
That's just brutal rough. That guy was completely uncalibrated. That might legit be like just an entirely new player. Oh wait, first match 2013, 3,000 matches. Interesting.
No, he's just really, really, really fucking bad. Like.
Oh man. All right, so let's just. I'm gonna crack open the replay, but like let's. I know. We'll focus on just like a couple key things. One being that laning phase, because that was probably the worst case scenario laning phase, and honestly, you did pretty good. Like I said before, like Drow, like regardless of who your 4 was, you could have like a godlike Willow player. You could have Crit playing Willow for you or something like that. And Drow Witch Doctor is a rough matchup for X. You kind of felt it, like anytime you got maledicted and then slowed and then you got hit with frost arrows and stuff, like you just melt away, because the way Maledict works in terms of just like amplifying the damage you take means that you just get less spins and they can keep their distance and stuff because they're 2 ranged heroes, right? So automatically, looking at a 5 ranged hero lineup as Axe, you know that the early game's going to be rough. It's going to be so hard for you to just like get those first few engagements, because everybody has a save, everybody has some kiting, and they can keep their distance from you, right? So we identified that, and I think you played around it really well. There was a couple little times where, like, I think there was one time where you just like were on your way out, you knew the danger was coming, and you just weren't quite quick enough. You got caught, and then you died, and blah blah blah, like whatever. But fundamentally, you did a really good job at, you know, taking my advice of going to the side, clearing out the small camp, clearing out the medium camp, going to your jungle, getting the hard camp, coming back, getting the creeps when they were safe, getting your economy going. You still had a reasonably timed Blink Dagger considering how shit the game was. Like if we go to the, 16 minutes, not ideal. You want your Blink Dagger at like 12 to 13, but
yeah,
like given how, and you went for phase boots first, which you don't normally do, right? Like it's usually like you go straight for.
I usually do brown boots.
Yeah, you usually do brown boots into that. So considering the modifications we made to the item build and stuff, 60 minutes is not all that bad. You did a really good job at like kind of getting that early game kicked off for you. And, you started doing the things that we needed to do to, like, give your team any chance, right? You got that first kill on Quap with the Blink Dagger. Awesome. You smoked up again. You were looking for another engagement. Awesome. It just kind of ended up collapsing because they were so deep and able to just kind of walk through your lone druid at anytime they went at lone druid, they just had a free kill, and it was easy for them to kind of take that section of the map. So there's a lot of that stuff that we'll just throw out, but fundamentally, I think this is a good example of a game where you still need to be an impact player while being behind in terms of your lane, because this will happen a lot as an initiator, as a centaur, as an axis, whatever. Is you'll get hard countered. You'll pick centaur and someone will insta-lock life stealer, and there'll be a 5 fucking, I don't know, lion or a shadow shaman or something, and you're just miserable to your core. You're not having a good time. Your lane is just shit. You can't hit you can't hit creeps, but then you still have to make space for your carry, right?
Yeah.
So this game was a really good example of figuring that sort of stuff out. So you ended up solo lane in a shit lane here, and we'll kind of see how you can impact that here. I kind of coached you through the laning phase, so I won't spend too much time on this. I think you could have been a little bit more liberal with your battle hungers. One thing that I would pay attention to is throwing battle hunger on the carry when there are creeps that aren't gonna die for a while. Right when the two waves meet here, I almost always just throw a battle hunger on Drow right away, right? Because it gives her a choice, right? She either has to push the wave by aggressively clicking down one creep, which brings the equilibrium back your way, or she just has to eat the damage, right? So I noticed right off the bat, and I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of too late now because some of these creeps are getting chipped down, so I didn't tell you to, but if you had a battle hunger on her this whole time, she's probably clicking these creeps versus kind of just hanging out. So this first wave, you're kind of giving up a little bit of harass that you could have been doing. Not a big deal. You had a bit of a rough time last hitting. You gave up range creep and stuff. Felt like you were, a little distracted, maybe a little nervous, maybe whatever. You miss last hit sometimes.
Yeah. It felt like a little more. I don't know. Usually, I feel like the last hitting. One, it felt like Drow was denying. She could deny it a higher health threshold than I could right click. Some of it was me missing things because I was trying to make sense of what was going on. But yeah, it was a hard lane to last hit, and I did not feel like I was last hitting well.
Yeah, she only has one more damage than you, by the way. So you're in terms of threshold, you had the exact same one as her. She was timing her last hits really well. If we go back and look at that first wave here, I did notice the first creep that gets denied here. I think partially you're trying really hard to pull the creep wave back, and because of that, you miss this creep that is you're trying to actively pull it away while it's getting beaten on, right? So she gets that easy deny, but had you just walked up and swung your axe at that, I think you just get that last hit, right? Right here, if you just walk up and you go hit it, right now, and you're still trying to aggro, right? You're still trying to pull back. So
that makes sense.
But again, like I said, last hitting is kind of a rhythm thing. It's a thing that you feel some days, and sometimes it's just it's messy and ugly, and everything feels awkward. And I totally get that.
I felt I was one step behind the whole laning phase is what it felt like with the last hits.
Yeah, and I find I get that too, and sometimes it's just a thing of you're just a little too relaxed, you're lounging in your chair a little bit, and you're not dialed in and over your keyboard really so it's that's
also
whatever.
My first Dota game of the day, so I always say my first one's a warm up, right?
First game of the day, and honestly, you said, you haven't been playing a ton of serious Dota lately. It's been a lot of unranked supporting and ags, which neither of which you have to last hitter. So I'm not gonna grill you too hard, but that's definitely something where a couple of your items might have been a little bit faster, which might have prevented some deaths and stuff. Might have made your game a little bit easier if you're on the ball and that stuff. So cool. We'll kind of zip through the rest of the lane here. Lone Druid gets a decent pull. This isn't bad. You that creep wave disappears. I think right here you found yourself in a really awkward position because you saw the Witch Doctor walking this way. Right about when he crosses here, I think the Lone Druid sees him. And for me, I would have just been running.
I thought the Lone Druid was coming with me, to be honest.
Well,
and then when
oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, please go ahead.
Well, okay, so what I was going to say is right now, you and the Lone Druid kind of have this guy cut off, right? Like if he comes and you go like, Drow's way too far away to help. But I think you do like a little weird dipsy doodle around the trees here, which changes the complexion of this fight completely. Right? Like, like right here, if you had just kind of like walked up across the top of these trees here, you would have just been on top of him, and it would have been you, Witch Doctor, and then the Lone Druid right here, like in this space. But because of that weird little, like, I don't know if that was pathing or if you just kind of got scared and were like, maybe I'll go back to lane, and you walk backwards, now you're the one sandwiched between two heroes, and it gets a little bit uglier, right? And, when the Lone Druid came in from behind, I would have just, like, chased this and looked for that kill. I think with you there, you might actually get that kill. Because you go back to last hitting, it kind of lets him off the hook a little bit because the cast can now just bounce between the bear and the druid, and there's no third person to kind of eat up that attention. But again, not a big deal.
Okay,
he has to burn a salve. He's like low on health and stuff, and lane's looking still okay.
Smart money.
Yeah, decent battle hungers and stuff here. At this point, so like this is something I was kind of struggling with, like telling you what to do in this moment, because your Lone Druid has pulled and cleared the hard camp. He is killing the small camp on his own, and your creep are under the tower. So there's really not much for you to do here. You can't exactly go, there's nothing for you to farm or pull here. What I would have done is ran over towards this like tree here, and you can always tell the tree because it's the one with leaves here. And if you cut this tree, it creates a little pathway up here. And if you cut that with a Quelling Blade and caught this wave, you could have dragged it around. And instead of meeting this wave and damaging some of your creeps, you could pull it over and have it meet this next creep wave back here and effectively, like, change the lane complexion a little bit.
Okay, so the tree with leaves.
Yeah. There's also another tree just to the left here. You can see this single one here. That can also be cut.
That one I know you can cut.
Yeah, and there's actually like a bunch of them. Like there's this one here. There's like either of these two trees here. There's a lot of ways you can cut through the trees. But the reason you want to take note of the one with the leaves is that it's a really...
That's outside the tower range, right? Too, so I won't get hit.
It's outside of the tower range, and it makes for a really good... Because, like, if you were already there, you could just, like, walk up into this opening and grab this creep wave and pull them. Like, whatever. But just because the creep wave's coming in and it's a little bit slow, you can kind of run over here, cut that tree, collect the creeps, and then take them away. Part of that is understanding the timing of when the creeps get to lanes. The way I tend to think about it, like you play 5 enough to know how and when to pull, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, you pull at 45 and you stack at 52. So if you're to pull at 45, that means that the other team's creeps are going to be here at 47, 48, right? So in your head, when you think about that, you can look at this lane and go, okay, at 48, which it is now, 48, 49, there's going to be a creep wave coming in, almost to the tower. Can I snag that? Can I take it for myself, right? If you do that, you drag it, you pull it all the way over to here, and then you've got, equilibrium kind of further back, like maybe equilibrium like right here, versus the equilibrium getting held up by your creeps that are already under the tower, and then you have another wave that you're losing kind of while Drow farms safely under a tower, right? But yeah, I mean, all that ends up being fine. Drow's kind of pushing your getting some last hits here. You go for the Witch Doctor play. Unfortunately, Casks really sucks. Lone Druid kind of nabs your creeps. This is all good. Yeah, Lone Druid dies for nothing. Yeah, like I would at this point, like I think I told you to go to the hard camp. This is all good. The other thing that you can always do is creep skip. You don't really want to do that with the 2 heroes alive and your 4 dead, but one thing I'll often do in a situation like this is like do a deep creep skip, where after I clear this hard camp, I'll like go around behind the small camp and I'll catch the wave like up here, because oftentimes you'll get supports feeling like, oh, it's too far away. I don't want to walk all the way over there. Just have them run away from me, you know? And again, with Axe, because you have counter helix, you can kill creep waves pretty damn quick. So if you kind of like get over there and you just like nuke this wave and then you run into the jungle and you farm this medium camp or something, this support kind of has to follow you. And as long as you kind of read their movements okay and you see, like, you know, with this ward that, oh, this witch doctor's walking this way, you can just kind of like dip around from this, like, this exit to the jungle. You can move back around to the hard camp, then make your way back to lane while he's like busy looking for you and stuff, right? So just being like a little bit unreadable and getting your economy while not going directly to the wave. Like, I think I told you to go to the small camp here, and you do, and you find the witch doctor, and I'm like, oh yeah, chase that guy, like throw a battle hunger on him, run him down, and you get a little close, and then at this point, like, you go to the small camp, which is good, but he's kind of guarding that, right? So I don't think I said it in the game, but I kind of meant to say, like, yeah, just go up the high ground, go, like, farm the medium camp or whatever. And I didn't say it because he was hanging at half health. I was like, oh, if you get a call, it's a kill. And then we saw the drow, and I was like, okay, get out of there. But you see what this is doing, right? Like, you're creating attention by, like, going to other places, and now drow feels like she has to walk away from these creeps. She's missing creeps right now to chase you down and stop you from farming the small camp. If you then just go, like, kill this medium camp and then catch the next creep wave in the middle of the lane and stuff, you're having a grand old time. You're getting a lot of gold without having to, like, go up to this lane. And this is where I was starting to warn you. I was like, you can't really go to the lane anymore because if you get maledicted, you're kind of just dead. So with the hard camp here, you kind of get up and you're like, oh, okay, maybe we can go back to the creep wave now. I'm kind of healthy, blah, blah, blah. And you see the instant, like, ramifications of that. You're kind of hitting, and then they ping on you and they go, and this is where you die, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is just...
I also got to remember, like, I don't often solo lane, and I think sometimes that kind of throws me as well, is like I expect there to be kind of more pushback, but you know, like, solo laning is tough. So totally. I should have kept that in mind. Like, I think a lot more when I was laning.
Yeah. But, like, you know, yeah. So one of the pieces of advice that I have for these scenarios, you're 4 fucks on, and this happens even in games that aren't like shit too, right? Like, you know, if you're playing, say, Darkseer or something like that, and you've got a Spirit Breaker 4, which is a pretty common combo. People like to mix the Ion Shell with the Charge or whatever, or like Unearth Spirit or something like that, right? Your hero, your 4,
Unearth Spirit and Herald ain't gonna happen, but yes.
Your 4 is gonna want to go move around the map and find kills, right? That Spirit Breaker's gonna want to charge mid, gonna want to TP to a fight bottom. And you're gonna get left alone. And if you're left alone in a lane like this, where it's like Drow, Witch Doctor, it's like these heroes that you can't fight, you have to find ways to, like, function while your 4 is gone, right? Even if you know your team is playing optimally, that might mean that you're alone as an offlaner. So understanding just kind of some of these mechanisms for, you know, like manipulating a lane, like cutting behind the tower is super valuable, and it's relevant on almost every offlane hero. If you're playing Underlord, you can do it. If you're playing Centaur, you can do it. If you're playing Axe, you can do it. You know, maybe a little bit less so for heroes like Slardar or something, but, like, you know, a Mag can cut a creep wave with his Empower. You can have a Sand King doing it with, like, you know, Burrow Strike and Caustic. Like, any hero can go cut waves like this. Axe is very easy to do it on, but you know, fundamentally, like, it's a good principle to understand because, you know, here you're 2-on-1. The carry wants to be stuck to the creep wave, right? The carry wants to be there. So by going somewhere else, you make it a 1-on-1. It's you versus the 5. And if the carry comes, you are succeeding by distracting them, right? Theoretically, your carry is farming across the map, while their carry is chasing you around the jungle. Great. Awesome. Perfect,
Yes.
Right? So, like, if you get over to this place where you're kind of between the tier 1 and the tier 2, you cut a creep wave, you go to a medium camp, you go to a small camp, you might be spending some health for this, but, like, with a Ring of Health, it's nice. You know, maybe you don't have a Ring of Health, you're not playing a hero that, like, usually goes that build, but you can, like, bring out yourself salves and tangles and stuff and just kind of sustain that stuff. And if you really get forced out of it, if they bring a second hero back, if they say, like, Lion, come on, we gotta go fuck this Axe up, he's cutting all of our waves, blah. They bring heroes and you escape, you just go to the hard camps in your jungle and stuff. You concede that Drow is going to hit your creeps, right? Because she's going to die whether you're there or not. then you find other ways to distract the 4, to open up the map, to find your own economy. Because if you're standing here, you're getting XP, but you're not getting gold. Because every time you step up to get gold, you're going to get caught. So, that's something I kind of should have instructed you towards in the game, but it was a little bit, everything was a little dicey, and the game was shaky, and the Witch Doctor was always kind of on you a little bit, so it was hard to kind of, catch that, because again, like, he's in a position like this and stuff. But yeah, like, all of this stuff is good. Again, kind of just like in the lane here, you're always at risk of this maledict, right? So like they're pinging you, you're getting a little too close, boom, you're caught there, you're maledicted, you walk out of this totally fine, but you see how much health you take just for being nearby.
Yeah.
And you remember when I said, like, okay, Witch Doctor has a 20-something second cooldown, 22 seconds, and I, again, I did not look at the clock. I didn't bookmark that at all. Like, I didn't, like, do any, like, actual math. I just said it's somewhere in that ballpark. He's probably, like, gonna do a lap. You've got about a few seconds to walk up, and this is when I was saying, like, yeah, you can go, you can get this range creep, right? You've got a little bit of an opening, and then I was like, okay, it's probably starting to come back up pretty soon here. They're gonna be looking to set up on you again. He's coming around 3, 2, 1, and I was like, okay, you're probably in danger right about now, was when I said it. And you walk up to take the creep wave, and boom, right? That's when you get caught. So, I was off by a couple seconds, but keep those things in your head, right? You can click on a hero and see their tooltips in-game, right? So at the start of a game, if you're against a lion, you're a shaman or whatever, you can ask yourself, okay, how long is the shackles cooldown, right? Okay, I just got shackled, I'm good for 15 seconds, right? And you can find yourself these little micro openings. Those are really important to kind of take note of in the lane, because they open you up. Like, if you can get 2 range creeps while a hero's spells are on cooldown, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna speed through the rest of the laning phase here. I think we've kind of covered the big things. You're farming at this point, just trying to get your economy up. I think we talked about, like, let's just get these phase boots so that you're somewhat mobile, you have a little bit of armor, and just farm for the blades. Oh yeah, so this chase, actually, I think there was a couple times where you could have played this a little bit differently here. When you get up on the drow... okay, yeah. Okay, so you chased her pretty much right away. I would have, at this point, like, so when she ducked into these trees here, I would have maybe just kind of, like, skirted up to this high side so that you could cut through the tree, because you can, like, cut any one of these 3 trees, and if she comes out this one, then you're kind of cutting her off, right? But you kind of followed her exact path, which meant that you were kind of at the same speed as her. But I would have just kept going here, because you've got a phase boots active, right? She does gust you, but, like, keep going. You still have that phase boots, right? If you get onto that tower and you just chop, she's dead. But yeah, I think you got a little bit scared of the tower. You were like, I don't know if I could do that, and then you kind of walk around. That was what resulted in you kind of doing this little dance around, and she survives, right?
Yeah.
Just go into the tower. Who cares? Yeah, your Tinker dies because he's a dummy there. You escape the rest of that gank. Spectre ultis for absolutely nothing for another time. And then we talked about, let's just go get your items. Just farm. And you're doing a really good farming pattern here in terms of, like, just taking the available farm, going for that mid one. Found that kill on the OD. That's really good. This move was really important, something that you should really think about a lot. When we have, like, when heroes are on the map, right? Like, I think leading up to this, we saw basically every single one of their heroes reveal themselves. Quap was showing top, OD was dead, Drow showed mid, and I believe that you also saw the Witch Doctor on this top lane. The only hero that could be anywhere is Lion. And just based on the pure idea of what Lions typically do, they follow their cores and look for kills, right? Lion is probably here or here. And he's often in actuality, he's often in his jungle doing fuck all. But, like, there's no scenario in which Lion's going to be solo farming a triangle, right? So, you know that the space of the map is empty, right? And this is when I was like, go to the triangle, because tons of gold up here, right? We know it's 15 minutes, and nobody's been over here in a few seconds, so we know there's at least one bounty rune. They haven't collected them in a while, so you get 3 fucking bounty runes. You get a hard camp, and you actually managed to stack it as well, which is really awesome. And you probably could have gotten these ancients as well, but we see that the drow kind of rotated in this direction and was farming that small camp, so so you back away safely. Like, that move was huge for you, because otherwise you're taking the Spectre's safe lane farm to try to get your blink dagger, and you're slowing the game down a little bit. That was really awesome. So keep that in mind. Just like, I think a lot of people are just kind of scared to cross the river because they're like, it's dark, there's no wards there and stuff. But when there's this many heroes on the map, when there's this much visible, really think about how you can skirt around them, right? This is super key for like playing carry as well. Really, really good carry players know how and when to jump across the river to the other team's side of the map and use that farming space, right? Because there's so much to gain by just skirting behind the enemy team and just like taking their ancients or something like that, right? So yeah, we get you a little farmed up here. You get a blink, you get your smoke. This is all good. Like, honestly, again, game is shit. Your lone druid's feeding. Your team's like super far behind, but you are doing like all right. And yeah, you smoke, and oh hey, we walked right into a pop.
Well, because we also looks like we smoked under vision, which I should have checked, but.
I don't think you did.
Did we? No, did they? Okay, they got
sentry here, but no obs.
Okay.
I actually thought they had vision up here for the longest time because the quap
They
just
did.
kept blinking straight in there.
They did. It must have either expired or.
No. So Ench cleared it right before you did it. So that was actually like a super good smoke. And then yeah, you just like walk right into the pop. Perfect, no problem. You could have like optimized that blink a little bit and like got the creeps attacking you here so that you got a little bit out of this.
Okay.
And I think I was telling you like just chop because
I was waiting.
Yeah, because I wanted to see you like spamming the R button on the location of the Astral so that you could get the co-op right when she came out. But it's fine. Your team picks her up. She dies. This is really good. This is like the relief, the breath of relief that your team needed. You got the highest net worth hero in the game with your first blink. Perfect. I think at this point I kind of told you to just like back up and be out of vision because again, you don't want to just be like standing in a wave, especially with 3 ranged heroes, right? Like, if you get stunned and then maledicted and then fingered right there, you're just dead. But I think they were kind of a little scared that you might blink on them, so they didn't go. Chasing Drow. This one was tough because it was probably a bad call on my part to tell you to like go for this. But I saw 2 supports here, and I think I actually saw this OD TP as well. So I was like, okay, Drow's got to be alone, like alone-ish. Like supports are close, but if you get on her, and did she see you? Like, oh no, she's just kiting back. Oh my god, you walked away out of it too. Oh,
I know. I didn't see her at first. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Your blink was in the call range. You just walked after the call. Oh no. I thought you just overshot the blink, but yeah.
I assumed, and this was my fault, I assumed she was going to be. For some reason, I thought that I had like underhit it for some reason, and I really thought she was going to be a little bit further up, but which makes no sense. Of course, is now that I think about it.
Another thing that I've noticed a couple times that you do is when you retreat from stuff, you tend to walk just directly towards your break, or towards your base, versus walking away from the enemy team.
Okay.
And this is a really, really good example of that because honestly, like the reason I told you to go for this is because if you miss the call, you're totally fine. Like you do not die here. And like even with Drow gusting you towards the team, if you just walk right, if you just go this way towards the secret shop, I think you live here. You escape. Drow can slow you, but like she can't hurt you. But by walking down towards the river, you give their team that was mid the opportunity to come cut you off, right? Lion is going straight for this ramp because he sees that's where you're going. Quap TP's on the tower and blinks straight over the cliff here and gets a spell off on you that she wouldn't have been able to get had you gone to the side here. Like if you miss this call and you just go, oh shit, and you just start running this way. Like if you go over these trees and down, Quap doesn't hit you, and maybe, I mean, you even just, like, tuck into these trees and TP or something, right? But
Yeah,
by
okay.
going the other way, you end up kind of introducing the other heroes as well. There was another fight earlier as well where you were farming this hard camp. Witch Doctor came in from the side, and Drow came in from this side. And instead of running, you know, just quickly over to the river and avoiding the Drow hitting you, you ran straight into the Drow while Witch Doctor was already on top of you, and you took like 400 damage more than you would have otherwise.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So just think about, you know, you want to keep yourself spaced from the enemy heroes. Sometimes that means going deeper, you know? Sometimes, like,
Okay.
like, honestly, you could have even just run up at that point, because where is everyone going to be coming from? You know that Witch Doctor and Lion are mid, right? Even without the Quap, Witch Doctor and Lion are immediately running for this ramp. So if you missed that call and then walked, like, upwards into these trees, even with Drow just wailing on you, you could get sufficiently spaced away from the Lion, who's the only stun that they have, and TP and be fine.
Or the Witch Doctor, yeah.
Yeah, the Witch Doctor, but he was like super far behind. He was lagging.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's general principle. Just like, if you're trying to escape, walk away from heroes, especially when you have like a blink or an available TP or something like that, because you can get yourself to safety in the darkness of the map, like from over here, better than you can from like the river.
Okay, that makes sense.
Alright, so bit of a costly mistake, but honestly, like, totally fine. Like I said, the goal at this point was to just, like, create chaos. You got a really good call there. I think I was, like, that was when I was freaking out about my fucking tensor bandage, so I kind of missed that call, but that was a really good one. You know, again, forces Quap to go back to base, forces her off the map. This is another good one as well. You get in, you know you can get one kill and get out, because you get, like, they've spent all their spells. Really good. Your Eng stays because she's stupid, ends up dead. That's her problem, not yours.
I think she's...
Oh yeah, she does actually get out. But yeah, and oh yeah, this one. So honestly, like, you played that little bit really well. And what I was kind of telling you here is, like, this is dicey. You don't really want to fight into it because they've got all their heroes there, right? But I was like, well, there's 2 full waves. If you manage to get like the OD, again, preventing that astral, and like a +1 on the wave, like, maybe it's good. So I was kind of expecting that you like kind of hang out in these trees here and then maybe look for like a big call like right here or something. And I was like, you don't want to go on a side hero because that OD
I know.
I know, yeah. And then that's exactly what happens, right? You get the Drow, you get Astral, then you get Meteor Hammered, and, you know, you're kind of stuck. And actually, your team makes a pretty good use of it, right? You almost don't die, and the OD almost does die, but still it kind of comes down to the fact that you, their save was left untouched, right? I think we've talked about this before with axes, like, if there's a Shadow Demon or an OD, or, yeah, Shadow Demon, or an OD or anything of the sort that can save, your job becomes a lot harder, because as soon as you blink in, there is that instant answer to your blink, right? So you need to catch those heroes, and by not doing that, you kind of see an example of what happens. So I think, honestly, like, at this point in the game, those 2 plays were kind of your window to open things up, right? That Drow pick, like, you got that Quap pick, awesome. Drow pick, close, could have just been a marginal escape, ended up in a death, kind of not good. Then you have this play on mid, which was honestly really good. You find the Quap, you don't kill her, but you get her down to, you know, like 10% HP. She walks all the way back to base blinking all the way back. Great. You know, you expended very little, you wasted a ton of her time. Then this little skirmish breaks out in mid. You find the Lion. Awesome. You get a good blink there. You get a kill. You get out because you're strong. Their abilities are on cooldown. Perfect. You kind of regroup a little bit. You're looking for another engagement here. You take a bad one. You jump on the wrong hero. You get astral. You get caught. Now you're dead. And between the fact that kind of those 3 fights, all you got was a Lion, is kind of where that surprise factor of the blink dagger has now gone away. You know, your power spike has waned, and you didn't get as much as you should have for it. You got some. You got like you had a couple really good plays there that I think you should be proud of. But there's just a couple more that just kind of didn't happen, and because the other team was already ahead, they're starting from a position of like power. you had to be near perfect to bring the game, right? So unfortunate, because it's not your fault that the game was in that scenario in the first place. This is actually another really good example of that retreating thing, right? I meant to call this one out. Because you get this great pick on Witch Doctor. Again, see Witch Doctor on his own, get a kill with your Tinker, boom, perfect, great. Why are you running this way? You see that their 3 heroes are running straight across your mid lane, right?
I should have run up the stairs.
Just run up the stairs, you go this way, you're home fucking free. You walk in the way that's going to get you cut off, and because of that, Quap gets a chance to see you, she blinks down, gets the dagger, you're maledicted, there's the Sonic Wave, and boom, you're dead, right? You walked straight for your base instead of walking away from the enemy. So
yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Cool, I don't think, and I mean, this fight still ended up okay. Like, I think, what did it come out as? It was like, we get the Lion too. So yeah, 3 for 2. Like I said, at the end of that fight, not bad. But all of that could have happened without you dying, and maybe without a Enchantress dying, because you're still a blink threat afterwards, right? Could have been 2 or 3 for nothing. Instead, ends up kind of a semi-even trade. So yeah, I don't think we'll watch too much further after this. A lot of this is just sadness, watching your fucking stupid-ass Lone Druid throw the game, and we're just throwing shit at the wall, trying to get you any sense of a pick-off, because that's all we can do at this point. So,
yes,
I would say game's lost at this point. Definitely a couple things you could have done, but we'll take the lessons from it and move forward, right? You had a really good opportunity to you created the best possible scenario for yourself in this game, right? You escaped the lane, you went and farmed, you got your Blink Dagger, you went and got picks, you found their highest net worth hero, you went and found their carry, you chased them down, just didn't have the pieces around you. How are you supposed to gank with a 5 Enchantress and a 4 Lone Druid? You got no follow-up stuns, you got no damage. The only thing you have is a Tinker teleporting to nearby waves to try to throw rockets. It's not enough. You just weren't set up for success in this game. This is a game lost in the draft that you made lemonade out of, So don't feel too bad. This was good. I think you played the laning phase fairly well. Couple little missteps with the Witch Doctor catching you with the Maledict. I would have paid attention to creep skipping all the way over to the tier 2 again. We can talk about that in the next games that we play if the scenario arises again. Just keep that in mind. Did a really good job at just ignoring the bad outcome of the lane, letting the Drow farm, getting your Blink Dagger, and then trying to be an impact hero when you hit your power spike. Almost got there, got a couple really good picks, just wasn't enough. The game was already too heavy at that point. So, positives, lessons to learn, but just keep that stuff in mind.
Yeah.
Cool. Rena, you want to do another?
Let me think. What time is it? Ooh, it's 1 for me.
Okay.
So I might actually have to head in a sort of bed direction, because also I've realized when I play Dota, it takes me twice as long to calm down and go to bed as when I do literally anything else. So it's hilarious, because normally I can do something, I can watch TV or whatever until 11 or midnight, and I can go to sleep within half an hour to 45 minutes. I play Dota, I'm up for 3 fucking hours because my brain is wired.
Yeah.
So, but you've given me a lot to practice. Tomorrow I have is today Saturday? Today's Friday. Fucking A. All right. Sunday I have my league game in the evening, but I think tomorrow I should have a fair amount of time to be able to practice. And so this is the first weekend where I'm not packed with stuff or really sick.
Okay.
So I'm going to spam a lot of Axe and practice a lot of the stuff that you said. So hopefully I'll also have some better games to show you. And I'll be in better Dota form
Awesome.
when we do coaching next time.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I will. I think we're good to go on a normal schedule. If you're good for next week as well, I'm good for that. And then just let me know how your games go. I should be around for most of the weekend. I don't think I really have anything planned. I'm kind of just doing paperwork and a little bit of work and just playing games for most of the weekend. So if you're playing games and stuff, feel free to let me know. Send me a replay. I'll check it out. Maybe we can jump in for an impromptu little session or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I hope your games go well, and yeah, I think just keep that stuff in mind. I think your laning is really solid. Just remember to just convert that mid game, chase the carries down, and be really impactful in those first kind of 20 minutes.
I will practice that. And I also took like a whole page of notes. So I've got plenty of things to like
Awesome.
look over and remember. So lots to learn, lots to do.
Sweet.
But yeah, as always, thank you like 1,000,000%. I really appreciate it. I learn so much every time. I feel like my brain is just like full of Dota knowledge. So my job is to practice and not forget.
Absolutely. Get to it. Right on.
Alrighty. I will talk to you tomorrow sometime.
Cool. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Alrighty. So for everyone hanging out on the stream, thank you so much for watching. I don't think I'm gonna keep streaming. I'm gonna check in really quick and see what my girlfriend is up to, because she's mentioned wanting to get coached a few times. So maybe we could do some of that and just kind of keep the coach train rolling. I'll be right back. Give me a few minutes, and then we will see where it's at. I'll come back and let you know. All right. So I thought my girlfriend was in my apartment just doing stuff in the background and wanted to coach. Turns out she left. I think she just went to the mall or something. But cool. So no more Dota for now. I think I'm going to pop off and do some other stuff for a bit. But if you are still hanging around, thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast, and I really hope you all have a good rest of your day. I think Jess and I are finally going to be getting back into doing this more regularly. So next Friday, same time, there will be another coaching session. So we're really looking forward to that. Yeah, we'll see if I get more content going throughout the week here. I had some ideas for new stuff that I wanted to try out. So there may be more, but I'm really shitty about maintaining a schedule. So I apologize for anybody looking for more regular content. that ain't me. I'm a bit of a mess. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was a blast, and I will see you all later. Thank you so much for watching.